Gather around, freaks. I know Kung Fu. Well, I don't. But the people in this month's movies do. It's time to look at the legendary filmography of a king of Hong Kong cinema, or the king of Hong Kong cinema, very slowly over the course of several years. Are you in or are you out? So gather around the New Year's Internet Radio because it's time for 2026 on Hey, Did You See This One? Hello and welcome to Hey Did You See This One, the weekly, weekly roundtable review reaction discussion where we just have to take a movie and ask, hey, did you see this one? And on the show, we take the movie that I just said and we pull it apart and we leave no stone unturned. And it's 2026. And last year in January, I don't know fucking where I am. Last year in January, we finished up John Carpenter month. We did our last 4 John Carpenter movies and we said to ourselves, what are we going to do when January comes back around? So we didn't talk about it for a full year. And last month in December, we were like, we still don't know what we're going to do. We threw around some names. Verhoeven came up. We said, I don't know. There's no way to rhyme that with January.
Lynch. We talked to Lynch. We were like, should we do Lynch? But then I was like, I don't know if I can handle a whole month of Lynch. But also, maybe one day we'll do Lynch.
Yeah. But then it was 4:00 in the morning during Christmas break, and we were playing probably Arc Raiders or Marvel Cosmic Invasion, and I think one of us just said Jan Woo. And then
we had finished doing. We did Hard Boiled the movie last month or the month before. I can't remember what we did. Oh, it was November, and we enjoyed it a lot. And then during that conversation about that movie, we were like, why don't we just do John Woo? Because John Woo rules, and you forget how much John rules until you watch a John Woo movie, and you're like, oh yeah, he's always ruled. Like since the beginning of his career as a filmmaker, everything he makes, even if you don't love it, it's still good. Like it's good enough, you know?
It's true. So that movie especially is great because it feels like a culmination of a lot of his ideas. So what we decided to do is do a month where we kind of cover a large swath of his movies like we did with John Carpenter. But I said we can't do the month without doing his first movie. And then I looked at his filmography, and then there's this gem of a film that we're going to cover tonight called The Young Dragons from 1974. And it's rough, but it's got a coherent story, and so the filmmaking especially feels very ahead of its time. It feels like it's kind of unprecedented for 1974, and we're gonna get into all that and more.
Movies of that vein in that time period, it is you can see the fingerprints of an auteur.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. And also Quentin Tarantino jacked that thing where they zooms into people's faces.
I mean, that's a kung fu trope. He did it like that.
But that feels like that happens like a million times. Did John Woo like pioneer that, or
no. That's a kung fu movie thing. Okay. I wouldn't say that.
You'll see a million movies from Golden Harvest and Shaw Brothers with that exact same filming language.
We call it a snap zoom because it like snaps up and close. Yeah, I wouldn't say Quentin Tarantino jacked it. I'd say he just uses it a lot. He loves it. He loves it for everything. But I'd say only in like his movies where it feels appropriate, like something like Django or something like Kill Bill, where it's like obviously he's making a kung fu movie with Kill Bill, whereas Django is like it feels very spaghetti western, but at the same time it feels like it's a movie within his movie universe sort of thing, where it's like it's meant to feel more corny, I guess is what you could say, but corny in the best way possible. Yeah.
Although you can look at a lot of spaghetti westerns and see a lot of different elements kind of go back and forth as martial arts and spaghetti westerns were moving in popular culture.
So absolutely. Also, we should introduce our guest and your co-host.
I was gonna do that. I was gonna do that right now. I, of course, am Jason R. Phillips, the young Jason R. Phillips, joined each and every week by my co-host Stephen Boba Blackfly Waters. Welcome.
That's me.
Welcome. And our guest this week, returning to the show for I think the third time.
Jeez.
Jaemeel Robinson himself from the United Federation of Podcasts, and I guess also this show because I haven't seen you on UFP very much lately.
Well, you know what? You might see me coming up a little bit. I've done one or two Trek TNG episode reviews. I might be there a lot more for Starfleet Academy because
and then once Survivor.
I was hoping to see you on the Galaxy Quest Radio Theater because I know you were there for the X-Men, and I was like, "Where's Jaemeel?"
You know what? Actually, I wasn't going to be on it. My wifey, my soon-to-be wife, a month from now, actually, she was interested in it. She's never seen Galaxy Quest, and the premise intrigued her. So we were trying to use this as a
way to watch it.
Yeah, and she was very excited, and then we got busy with all wedding preppers are. So
well, December 30th. So even without the wedding, it was smack dab in the middle of the holiday season too.
Yeah,
it was lucky I was able to do it with everything going on.
Well, welcome back, Jaemeel, and also congratulations on the fact that you're getting married in a month, and we'll give you a round of applause.
Thank you. It's greatly appreciated.
I just wanted to have you.
Oh, sorry, it was on loop. Welcome back.
Wow.
It is, of course, great to have you back. You're somebody that I like talking film with, and you haven't been on nearly enough. I think between the first time you were on and the second time was nearly a year. So let's make a better habit out of having you back more frequently.
At the same time, if the man could come on time, 8 o'clock is 8 o'clock, folks. Come on.
Listen,
there has to be punishment.
You're not the latest, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Right. So
we should probably talk about a brief synopsis.
A brief synopsis? Oh, what? That's the wrong one. I almost put the Freddy.
Zardoz speaks to you. He demands you synopsize this film. Tell him how, why, who, what occurs in this film.
Wow.
Let me take a crack at it. This is going to be... It's a pretty simple to follow plot. There's this guy, Jin, and his buddy Kid, who are local ruffians, and they sort of get in the middle of a gun smuggle between two crime bosses, and it kind of goes awry when an investigator comes to town who also gets involved with Jin. They become buddies, and while they're trying to figure out how to get the money away from the bad guys, the main crime boss, Mr. Long, basically puts a hit out on everybody who's wronged him, and through a series of fights, we get to kind of an end point where Jin basically has to take revenge for his buddy, the inspector, as we don't know yet until later in the movie. We'll get into all of that. And Kid basically buying the farm. There's a final showdown at a great house, lots of great kung fu action, and then a very heartfelt final moment after a long and arduous fight. A lot of fighting in this film. It's the focal point of the movie, and there's a lot of like, I was watching this movie going like, there's a lot of like professional wrestling parallels, where it's like two people will talk shit to each other and then finally showdown and then fight for like a pretty long time, like a title bout. But that's a little bit of editorialization. Is there anything else you wanted to add to that, Steve? But is that pretty much?
No, I was hoping you weren't going to ask me because I was like, I don't know. There's a whorehouse and a lot of money and guns getting exchanged, people betraying each other. There's a lot of stuff going on. But the long and short of it is there's a kind of a shithead in town who beats people up, and then the bad guy owns everything. He's like the mayor of the town, kind of. If it was a Western, he'd be the mayor of the town. And then the detective shows up to put a stop to it. And then they, much like Hard Boiled, the ruffian teams up with the police detective.
Yeah, it felt like Hard Boiled in a lot of ways. Like I can see where John Woo, like John Woo's got things he does. I mean, I've only seen 2 of his movies, but they're both very similar in the way that they're set up. So I'm here to find out if Mission Impossible 2 has the same trajectory as Hard Boiled.
I mean, actually, is it? I shouldn't. I don't want to ruin anything, but from my memory, which I've only seen that movie once in theaters when I was a child, and I remember something that does feel very John Woo-ish, considering the fact that I watched Hard Boiled recently. I've seen this movie now. I'm very familiar with Face Off, and then there's a few of his other movies that I've seen as well. But yeah, he has a comfort zone, and he doesn't necessarily stay within it, but he punches hard in that zone and then also jumps in and out of it here and there. Oh yeah, those
are great.
Sound effects were crazy. Yeah,
it's so good. Yes. I understand why a whole generation of children went when they were play fighting in the 80s.
Still do now.
The best is that like sometimes it would be the same sound effect like 6 times in a row. It'd be like amazing.
Sometimes it's slower, sometimes it's faster, sometimes it's louder.
Sometimes it's quieter, yeah. Sometimes it's the exact same level and speed for 4 times in a row, and it doesn't really matter.
Should we talk a little bit about our brief history with this movie? But maybe just since it's the first week of John Woo, we can talk about our history with John Woo, since we've already kind of started.
A brief history.
Jaemeel, my friend, my pal. So just very quickly, I'll say that I asked you and I asked Dave Mader of the United Federation of Podcasts which movie you wanted to do. And I asked you first because I wanted to have you back first. You've got a big month coming up, but I want you back on the show. You said, I'll let Dave do Face Off and I'll take the Young Dragons. So why don't you tell us why? I don't know if Dave might have been a little bit like, I don't know what I'm watching right now. This doesn't seem like something that's up his alley.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, when I saw the list, which, look, it's a good list, regardless of you're getting a plethora of different takes of Woo. But when looking at the list, this wooed me. To this particular title because it's the only one I haven't seen.
Right.
So I definitely wanted to check it out. And I think even going before the history with John Woo, strong history with martial arts, a lot of Golden Harvest and Shaw Brothers films. My dad is a huge martial arts fan, or kick up, as they call it in the West Indies. So growing up and sitting with him and bonding with him with these type of movies definitely seemed like the best thing to check out. In terms of John Woo, we've seen what he's I've seen what he's done. You know, more of the traditional ones. There's still looking through his filmography. There's a bunch that I have the luxury to see for the first time, which is great. But a lot of the traditional ones, you know, the Hard Boils, the Killers, the Broken Arrows, the Mission Impossible 2s, you know, Face Offs. You go through the more pulp culture traditional ones I've seen. So, and you kind of know what you're going to experience, and that is a pretty skilled hand, a very traditional type of story, good guys and bad guys, and a lot of sequences of flair. Right, there's flair in it. So I will never say something is poorly made by John Woo because he is skilled enough that he can take whatever story that might necessarily not be the strongest, but at least present it in a way where you can be entertained, despite a couple winks in this movie, and 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 you can actually see the skill at work and kind of marvel at, oh, this is an interesting shot, or he's trying something different here. Yeah, overall the experience, I'm very glad that I actually got to do this film. So I thank both of you for the opportunity.
You're welcome, Jaemeel. We're glad
welcome.
to supply you with the opportunity. That is always fun as well. I think sometimes I'll often pick the the thing that I'm not as familiar with because it can be more fun to talk about because you're fresh and you have an interesting perspective. Like you, I had never seen this movie before. I'm not like poorly versed on John Woo's filmography, but I'm definitely not well versed on it. I've also seen the ones that everyone has seen. When you say John Woo, your brain goes to maybe like 5 or 6 different movies. Those are the ones that I've seen. But you know, he's had a very long. This movie came out in 1974. He's been making movies forever. He's been making movies longer than like my parents were able to analyze what a good movie was. You know, like that's saying something. I would say that like my history with John Woo overall is like I definitely remember seeing Mission Impossible 2 in theaters and thinking, holy shit, this feels completely different from the first movie, and I can't quite put my finger on why. And it's like, oh, it's because it's from a Chinese filmmaker who's taking a lot of his sensibilities in his actual filmography, because I think that there was, for a time, an idea behind the Mission Impossible franchise, which was we're going to have all of these auteuristic directors make the Mission Impossible movie, so everyone would feel completely different than the one that preceded it, which is a really cool idea. And I think like J.J. Abrams made the third one, and then the fourth one, like they had this whole plan where they're gonna like, and then Wes Anderson will direct one. Like it's like gonna be like a full Wes Anderson Mission Impossible. Like that idea on paper sounds really cool, but I think they realized that like people aren't able to adhere to it properly. But Mission Impossible 2 has some crazy John Woo stuff in it, and like you were saying, like you can just sit back and be like, oh, that's an interesting camera technique or movement that I wasn't expecting. I think that's one of his best attributes as a filmmaker, because, you know, his movies do have a lot of physicality in them when it comes to the actors and stunts and fighting, but that's almost secondary to what the camera is doing around those fights, right? Like the fights are impressive, obviously, but he's doing things with the camera that is maybe even more so impressive. I think back to when we did Hard Boiled in November, and like there's this one shot that is like burned into my mind now where it's like this extravagant stunt, but the camera isn't locked down, nor is it doing anything crazy and zipping around everywhere. It's taking its time and sort of like meandering down this long warehouse where everything is like staged perfectly. And it's like the camera movement is so deliberate and like it's so good. It's the camera itself is its own character. I love his camera work. Guys, I love his camera work. His cinematography is amazing. I love this guy. But my first time like really sort of nailing down like, oh, John Woo is a person who is like impressive to me was the Stranglehold video game, where he like
Really,
yeah, put a ton of resources into making a game, making it a sequel to Hard Boiled, and having Detective Tequila come back on a different adventure that is, you know, takes place outside of the Hard Boiled storyline, and like understanding that like he has a love of action in a way that like I don't think a lot of people do. It's unfortunate he didn't spend more time making more video games, but like, you know, you've seen a lot of different movie directors do it. Spielberg has made video games. Clive Barker has made video games. John Carpenter has made video games. All of these people are like auteur directors, but John Woo is part of them. You know, it's a small club. The movie director who decided to make a weird video game. That was the first time that I was like, John Woo is interesting to me. And then I started to branch out more and watch more of his stuff that I wasn't kind of coming across organically, because a lot of my friends were sort of like film dweebs who only liked specific things and not, you know, reaching across to other stuff that they weren't comfortable with. But yeah, that video game like opened up a door, a door that I didn't know I wanted to open, and I'm glad I did. So yeah, not so much of a brief history about his films, but more so just him as a guy. He's cool. I think John Woo is the coolest filmmakers who ever lived, to be honest.
I think I would have to agree with that based off of the few films I've seen. And as an adult, I've only seen Hard Boiled and this, but I remember seeing Face Off. I think that's 1995, so I would have been like 10. And I remember it blowing my mind. And my dad specifically loved John Travolta, or loved that era of John Travolta. So I remember Face Off coming out and him being like so stoked and so confused about why they're switching faces and all this. And I remember vaguely watching it at a sleepover, like I said, but I don't remember much of that movie. And Broken Arrow was another one. I think that's 96 or 97. And I only really remember two people fighting on the back of a train next to said Broken Arrow, which is a nuke.
It's not like an actual arrow that's broken?
No. The arrow is the head of a nuclear weapon.
I see.
I know you know that. But I'm excited to go down this road after watching Hard Boiled, because Hard Boiled blew me the fuck away. Excuse my language. Like, I couldn't believe how many tropes in other later movies are like originate from like John Woo's style of cinematography, his style of fight choreography. I've said this a lot of times on the show. I love fight choreography. I'm a professional wrestling fan. You know, I love to watch what goes into a fight be interesting, not just two people, you know, fighting. Like, I don't like UFC, for instance, or even boxing, really. I like it when there's flair, like
spectacle. It must be spectacular.
And fight choreography in a kung fu film is that perfect blend of combat sport, but choreographed or predetermined, where I couldn't get enough. This movie has some really awesome fight scenes, and it's too bad that we're not like a fight choreography podcast or something, because we're not really going to break down the fights. We're just going to say key moments.
That was cool.
Yeah. And it's like trying to cover a comedy movie on the show and just be like, that was funny. Anyway, the next part of the plot is. So that's probably going to be what our fight discussion
was. The rule
of
three really followed in this scene?
that final battle.
You know what would have made this scene better? A bunch of phone books with squibs in them.
Yeah. And chicken feathers flying from
everywhere.
Off camera. But my history with John Woo is brief, and my history with this movie is I watched it this week, and I really sat and had to take it in because it was subtitled. And we haven't done a lot of subtitled movies on this show. And when you have to sit and actually, like, I had to pause the movie a lot of times because something would happen on the screen. You'd read the subtitle, then you'd go to make a note, and then you would miss the next subtitle. So it's all in here. Like, I got it real good this time. And it was a great
Not
watch.
me. I was tired when I was watching it. I was like, oh, what did he say? Nah, I don't care. Oh, did he just?
I don't know.
Did that guy just come in his pants? Oh, he did.
Oh, he did. And left a giant snail streak across the floor.
Yeah, that's great. I watched this at like 2:00 in the morning. So I was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Well,
I can absolutely understand in terms of what you're talking about, fight choreography. Martial arts movies do a great job of not really just sticking to a 2D plane when presenting action. A lot of times, boxing matches, you do see it move around, but typically everyone's kind of face to face, and it just moves around together. You see a lot more of depth of field kind of being used in martial arts films, but in this film particularly, they did a great job of really like moving the pieces around and also presenting the scope of the fight.
Yeah.
Where, especially when it's multiple people attacking one, right? They would do some shots, from on top of a hill, presenting exactly how the person is being boxed in, right, in that fight. A lot of great takes that we saw. So in terms of fight choreography, I know yes, we're not going to talk about it that much, but folks should really take the time, watch the film, and watch it a second time and look at it from that lens.
Yeah, no, that's really good advice. And I do honestly, I wish that there was a dub of this. Like
So
I
needs
would
a dub.
always, I would want, like, it's fine. Like I'm not one of those people that's like I can't watch subtitled movies, but I
What
would
if we
like to
make
be
a
able to,
dub for it?
that would be hilarious. That would be fun. Get all the UFP together and just dub it over.
That sounds like a more fun idea than doing the radio theater.
The radio theater. Yeah. But the thing is that with the dub, I could put it on in the background, you know, and listen to it while I'm doing stuff, not have to sit and be like so locked in after seeing it the first time, which I know this is like, don't say that, but at the same time, sometimes, you know,
I think it's fair, especially like with older movies, like because there's not a ton going on in terms of movement plot wise. Sometimes there's a lot of fluff in these dialogue scenes that don't necessarily push the movie forward. It's like attempting to do character development, but we already get who the characters are and we don't necessarily need it. And sometimes questions will come up in your mind when you're reading these things and you're like, oh, and then it's never resolved. And you're like, oh, okay, well, I guess I need to stop micro focusing on that one thing that I thought was going to be revealed to us. It doesn't actually matter because the guy's just going to get the shit kicked out of him and then thrown into a lake.
And then also depending on the dub or the non, like if you're a native Mandarin speaker, they have different names. Jin is named something else, and if you look at the IMDb, they don't have their character names.
Nope, just the actors. So it's really hard for me to tell because like a lot of their pictures are not recent or like not of the era for this movie. So it's like I don't know who the fuck I'm looking at here. Yeah.
And it didn't help that Fan and the assassin guy, the Mr. Long's brother, like look very similar. And when Fan shows up in the movie, I was like,
Jason.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Okay.
Okay.
When Fan showed up, I hadn't been.
They all have the same fucking Beatles haircut. Okay, every single one
there's
has the
also
same
that.
Ringo Starr haircut, so it's hard to tell unless they're wearing different colored shirts.
Yeah, I was like, why did the assassin guy change his colors to gray? But I was very much like, it's confusing.
I liked when the T-shirt gang showed up.
Film grainy. Oh my god!
Me and Danny kept being like, "We're the T-shirt gang, and we're here to beat you up." Oh fuck, we're really bad at this.
I promise you, it's not a race thing.
Tighten your belts, everybody. No, we know, Jason. We're just joking.
Yeah, Jason, we know. It's funny. It's a funny.
Yeah.
It's a funny.
When it's a close up, I can tell who it is, but from far away, if they're wearing the same clothes, I can't tell because they literally have the same haircut. They
do it on purpose. Like, let's be honest, they do it on purpose. There's a lot of stand-ins.
For sure.
So
That's true. And
but I mean, it's also literally why
too, right? So
it's literally why when they have people fighting one-on-one, they will never be wearing the same color clothes. Like they'll have somebody wearing a gray outfit and the other person will be wearing a white outfit, and then this person will show up with a yellow outfit. That's why like Bruce Lee always had like a bright yellow, and like his whole thing was like, I'm wearing the bright yellow for that movie series, and like it's to make him stand out against everybody he's fighting against. It's all there deliberately. But dang, they all do have that fucking Beatles haircut. Every single one of them.
True. The style at the time.
I kept thinking, like, imagine
for the time when I was going to school, there was a whole bunch of Asian kids that had a similar haircut. Look, like I'm not saying all, but like we're like, hey, come on, we gotta change it up a little bit.
I had that haircut when I was a kid too. It's just if you have straight hair, like it just grows that way. Like if you get a
I tried to have a mushroom cut, and my hair's too like wavy, so it looked wrong, and I wanted the same haircut as all my friends.
Yeah,
that was a style of the time. That was like the broccoli hairstyle of the 90s. Was everybody had a mushroom cut? Do you want to do a little bit of production talk? I've got a couple things to say, but I mostly want to show you the new production talk picture I made because it's amazing.
Show us, Jason.
All right. Quiet on set. Are we rolling? Okay, let's shoot this piece of Sound. Speed. Action!
Jesus Christ.
What?
You want to be a star, don't you?
I sat back. I made the plug when I made sucks. Like you're gonna be like, what the fuck? And I sat back and I'm like, how do I? And then I was like, oh no.
Why have I tapped into the recesses of my perverted mind?
Also, the font is giving Canva. I gotta shout out to Canva because it makes idiots who are bad at it good at it. Apparently,
You should have used the Pornhub font.
well, maybe a new one comes up every couple weeks. But basically, so obviously, John Woo directed. Apparently, a lot of these people of the era were like pretty big stars, like Ni Tian, Henry Yu Yun, who placed brother Kin or Kid, and Hu Chin, who's Rouge. Yip Fung, that's Jin, I'm pretty sure. Ni Tian. So already my notes are like
Ni
different.
Chung Yip Fin, that's Jin. Is that what you just said? That's a
Basically. Yeah. Interestingly, Jackie Chan himself was a stunt coordinator and martial arts choreographer.
Just to make us all remember how old Jackie Chan is, and the fact that he was still doing wild ass stunts in the early 2000s up to like the late 2010s, he was still doing crazy.
He made like the Tuxedo in the early 2000s, and then is there
Shanghai Noon, Shanghai Nights? Don't forget about those gems.
Tuxedo, and then he did is it The Immigrant? It was some dramatic thriller that he did that was in the. And it was not good. It was not good. And then he did a bunch of titles in China. He went back.
Yeah, remember that one with Arnold?
Cameos.
That was a Chinese movie, right? Where it was like,
I think so. And he did one with Jet Li. Finally, did a movie with Jet Li that was advertised as such, but I think he only shows up for like 10 minutes. You know, he's in his retirement phase. He made it in North America, quote unquote North America, and he kind of moved on. And he appeared in Karate Kid Legends.
Right.
That's right. That's right.
I can't imagine that he's not a day probably does not go by that Jackie Chan doesn't have some sort of ache in his body, like in his ankles or his wrists or something. He's probably broken so many fucking bones. He's broken his ankle on like every movie he's ever done, hasn't he? I've seen him get stuck. Like he's had to slide through like a thing, like a toll booth window in some movie, and you know they do the bloopers at the end. Like he'll slide through a mail slot if you give him enough.
And he gets stuck halfway, and they have to like pull him out, and he gets out, and he's like, "I'm injured. I got to take a couple weeks off."
I think I just slapped a couple ribs into my lungs.
So, there's the famous him breaking his foot on the hovercraft in
Rumble in the Bronx.
And then getting the sock. Get the
He's
sock
got
over
the boot on for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, but he still did the stunt with the broken ankle too. He's like, "No, I can do it." And they're like, "Jackie, no," and he's like, "Yeah, fuck you. I'm gonna do it anyway."
Oh yeah, and that's right. Mike Smith, Rush Hour 4 is, you know,
is it happening?
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's
even
true.
after was it Chris Tucker Epstein photo
on the list.
I was wondering if we were going to talk about
on the list.
I'm like, is this going to lead to a Jackie Chan talk, which is then going to lead to a Chris Tucker talk, which is then going to turn into an Epstein Files talk? I don't know. We'll see.
Put a stamp on your bingo cards, and it actually happened.
It happened. Yeah.
I think Chris Tucker might be one of the only people to be on both the Diddy list and the Epstein list. Ooh. That's not true. There's probably a myriad people,
including Diddy himself.
Yeah. No, but okay, how about Diddy list, Epstein list, and probably a frequent person visitor of Neverland.
No.
Yeah. Okay. And then also that place where all those yachts were on New Year's Eve this year. Did you guys see that? There was some island in the South Pacific where all the like rich elite yachts went to party.
The Christmas Adventurers Club.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Is that a reference to One Battle After Another?
Yes, it is.
Man, what a great film.
I don't like this.
Sorry. Okay, let's get back on track.
Sorry.
So there's no authoritative box office figure for how much this movie cost to make or made. But I will say the film was originally completed in 1973 under the title Passerby and was deemed too violent by censor, so it was shelved. Golden Harvest acquired the project, funded reshoots, retailed the Young Dragons, and then signed John Woo to a 3-year contract as a result. That's according to Wikipedia.
That makes sense. It absolutely makes sense. And I can see a lot of the violent tendencies because I was kind of taken aback with how women were treated in general in this film.
That random scene of a woman just getting beat up and she's topless, and I was like, why what was the point of this? But I could see the movie having more of that kind of stuff, and the
in
blood
the 70s
they even scaled back the blood a bit.
In the 70s there was a way for filmmakers to make the villain even more villainous, and that was to have them on screen rape somebody. That was a go-to move in the 70s, and
Zack
carried
Snyder
over.
said, "Why don't we always do that?"
And they carried it forward into the 80s and the 90s. But I mean, like a lot of people, it's distressing, it's disturbing, and it's something that unless it really has something to do with the story, then you should probably just keep it out. You know, that's how I feel about it. At least I hope most people do.
It's obvious. It's tacky.
It's tacky.
It's like it's been overdone. You know,
but it's also just like you got to know that that's upsetting people, and not in the way that you intend. Like, we know the bad guy's a bad guy. You don't need to have him do that on screen. But I mean, it's the 70s, so they didn't know any better yet.
it kind of feels like they had to one up all the other, villains in it. So like it starts off with Long kind of taking his masseuse and kind of pie facing her, right? Immediately. Sorry. First hitting her with the cigarette across her cheek and then pie facing her. Yeah. Right. So they're like, well, we've already taken those two off the board. We just got to up the ante.
How can we make this worse? Oh, I got an idea. Let's take a note out of every Italian horror filmmaker's playbook.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to use dogs.
I didn't want to bring up Zack Snyder, but Jason, you already did. But like, he's got an issue with that too. Like he uses it as a plot device constantly, and it's like, Zack, like I like some of your movies. Like, why do you got to always throw this in here? Like, a woman can be a strong character without having, that be a part of the story every time. And I know, like, I understand that is something that is real, that exists in real life, that is like a constant threat. And it can be powerful, but like it can also be a crutch. And you gotta if you don't need the crutches, then get off the crutches. You can make this character interesting without that as part of their story.
Stephen, it's just like schoolwork. If you keep submitting your homework and you use the same line in every piece of the homework, you're gonna get docked marks. I'm sorry, filmmakers, you get docked marks.
That's what happens.
Find something.
Every time I'm watching a Zack Snyder movie, it feels like he's like, "Hello, my name is Zack Snyder, and this essay is about sexual assault."
Yeah.
That's not a good thing to laugh at. I'm sorry. Listen,
we're not laughing at that. We're laughing at the fact that he uses it constantly as a weapon against the audience, and he should maybe try some other tricks.
Yeah. Read a book or two.
Read a couple books, and not comic books that already have rape in them. Zach.
It's like, I love the Killing Joke. It's great.
You know what we should really focus on? Oh, God.
Well, let me change the subject immediately. So how about those Kung Fu kicks?
Everybody wants Kung Fu fighting.
Yes.
That's pretty much all I have for actual, the choreography by Jackie Chan infuses fights and dynamic movement, uncommon in low budget films of the period, like Jaemeel kind of brought up. And we can see a lot of his early genre themes that he carries through, like the underworld, honor among thieves, loyalty and betrayal. And that's great. It's all here. This movie and Hard Boiled felt like almost like sister movies in a lot of ways. Like this is where he started, and Hard Boiled is one of his like magnum opuses of. Well,
Sorry,
it's
I laugh because it's the only two you've seen. So I'm like,
true.
like, okay.
I think they're far enough apart from one another, though, that like he perfected.
I also think that the more you watch of John Woo, that you're going to realize that like, oh, there's also a triplet sister, and like also there's 4 other sisters, and maybe this is just a whole sister,
whole family of
sister. Yeah.
I'll get back to you as the month progresses. How about that?
We have the Jason update. It's like, Jason, where are you standing right now?
New sister. The killer's just his last sister, but it's the best sister. Don't say that. Okay. Let's go on to, I guess, the body of the episode.
Which body do we use?
The body of the episode.
I think this
I
person.
like that sound clip for the body of the episode because it reminds me of what's that game where you play as little jelly bean people and you all battle against each other and slide?
Oh yeah, Fall Guys.
Fall Guys.
Yeah, it does actually.
The Fall Guys getting ready music, or the Fall Guys end of a level music.
Yeah.
Cool. So we start the movie with Mr. Long, or Mr. Leung, who seems to be a crime boss of sorts. He's got cronies. They're looking at guns. They're looking at 200 guns, and he burns a woman immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately.
And Mr. Long says that gun running is expensive work, so he wants 20,000 silver. Me and Steven were
the
talking
original
about,
deal for 5,000.
yeah, he's like 5, and he's like, no.
What are you, nuts? Yeah. Listen, I'm so pissed off at that offer. I'm gonna burn this lady next to me, and if you're not careful, I'm gonna burn you next. See, that's his voice. If we do the dub, that's what his voice is gonna be.
Yeah, see,
okay. I want at least 20,000 silver coins, or else you're all getting burnt by my cigarettes.
Steven and I were talking about like when this movie takes place. According to my notes, it takes place in the 70s, but you were saying that they mentioned the war, which would have been the 40s.
But I mean, they say the war. It could be any war. It could be a war that's happening in like disputed continent, or not continents, provinces of China or whatever, right? John Woo's Sister Act. Yeah. Sisters, so many sisters. I was like, you know, the clothes they're wearing versus we only see one car, I think, in the whole movie, and it's when he like lands on that car at that one point at the beginning during like the gun trade-off. I don't think we see any other cars throughout the entire thing. And just like tonally, everything about it, I'm like, this feels like it could take place in the 40s. Like, are they talking about World War II? Are they talking about a different war? It doesn't really matter. So if it takes place in the 70s, it does. But to me, my brain, for some reason, was like supplanting itself in a different era than I guess it was meant to take place in.
I was thinking like
didn't really do much other than to make me be like, it was even more of a simpler time. There weren't even hippies yet.
I was thinking it was like it's also rural Hong Kong, like it's like in the
it would be like
area, so
it would be like setting a movie, you know, in the 70s in like America. Usually you'll be able to tell because of the clothes that they're wearing, but because this movie is set in China, they're wearing sort of like traditional garb. So I'm like, I can't tell when this is meant to take place. I don't know. But if it's the 70s, it's the 70s. But when I was watching it, I was like, World War II, Hitler's still around. Holy shit, this is a dark timeline we're in.
Hitler's the bad guy of this movie. He's just off camera. If the Duffer Brothers wrote it.
He's directing next to fucking John Woo.
Shout out to my Stranger Things fans. It's been a weird week. Listen, there's a great fight at the beginning here with Yun Fei. He's a master. He just beats the shit out of a couple guys for our entertainment. And Mr. Leung loves Yun Fei. We find out later that they're brothers, I think. This is something else that I was wondering about the movie. You guys watched, Jaemeel, you watched a different... like the subtitles on the video you sent me looked different than mine. And I'm wondering if we are getting the same information on the versions we watched based on.
I never caught that they were brothers. I never.
Later on in the movie, is like, "That's my brother." So I don't know.
But could it have meant like a sign of affection?
Yeah, there's a lot of times where people are referring to each other as brother in this movie.
Yeah.
And I was at first it was like, oh, they're brothers. And then I started to be like, I think this is just like an affectation. Like they're just saying it as a term of, endearment, or to be like, to us, we are brothers or whatever. I think that's what it was meant to be. Cause like there's never a moment where I saw any sort of like familiar relation where I was like, okay, I think that they're just calling each other brothers, like brothers in arms, or
Yeah, I think they're lockstep in terms of their goals, and one looks after one side of it, the other one looks after the other. There's never the impression of betrayal, right?
Yeah,
and that type of kinship, I think, like equates to them being brothers. Right?
Yeah,
so,
comrades.
Yeah,
this is why you're right, Steve. We need to do our own dub, and it'll be the perfect dub. We'll get all the facts right.
I'll call it the Young Dragons, the perfect dub.
Yeah,
that'll be the colon.
But we kung pao it like World Mind suggested, and just make a mockery of the whole thing. I think a movie like this should be like fully restored. Like I think John Woo's still alive, right? He's still around.
Yes, he's alive. Yeah,
I think
he just directed a movie last year called The Killer. Wait a minute, he already made a movie called The Killer.
I think that this restoration project for this movie should be something that happens, and get one of those DVD companies that puts out old movies to restore it and make like a definitive version. I think that would be
get Criterion on it. Let's
Criterion,
let's go in the closet and grab it.
Yeah. I wonder if it's in that closet.
Somebody said that to me in high school once, and I was like, "What?
You can do that?
You want to do what to me in the closet?"
Seeing all those big stars like having their own turn in the closet, I just love it.
Yeah. Yun Fei,
you want to be a star, don't you?
Yes. I knew that would get some play. Yun Fei, he has his little squad of guys, and he also has his own bird cage. So already the bird cage stuff is starting, that we see later in Hard Boiled. And he also pushes a woman away by the face. So it's just
But I mean, I like that they set up the villain immediately. I think that most movies should do this. I like when we get a cold open with a bad guy. Like it's good. It makes me understand what I'm dealing with, and you understand the villain already, or at least you want to know more about him, and then you move into who your hero is meant to be. And in this movie, the hero is kind of a dipshit. And you're like, wait a minute, this guy is fucking a loser. He's just good at kicking the shit out of people. Ruffian. Yeah.
But he reminds me of like every anime protagonist.
Yeah.
He's a little bit. He has
these. Yeah, he's got these sort of visual cues and sort of like these little affected. Like he's got his little cigarette. What are those things even called? I don't even know what it's called.
Yeah, kind of.
I call it a Cruella de Vil cigarette holder. What do you call it?
He has his one special move that his subordinates all are in awe of, which is like lighting the match with one hand.
Yeah,
which is cool.
It is. Yeah, it is cooler later when you realize that he's lighting it off the matchbox, because sulfur matches exist, right? Where you can light them off of any surface because they spark, but he's not using. He's like secretly doing it off a mat, which is like debatably more skillful than to like light it off your stubble on your face or something.
I wanted to try to get that, but there were a couple of reasons not to do that. Like, can't find matches, but also don't sit here on a podcast surrounded by flammable shit trying to light a fucking match with one hand. It'd be bad. But
I'm glad you didn't do that, Jason. God, don't do it, Jaemeel.
I'm not gonna do it. Look at the Funkos.
All your Funkos go up.
Funkos went down that night.
Now that Funko's going under, you have the last like remaining like collection.
The stronghold of Funkos, yeah.
Yeah.
Is this the Goldfinger plan where like I irradiate irradiate all the gold, making my gold more valuable?
Yes.
Yeah. You're irradiating all your Funko Pops right now.
There should be a James Bond movie where there's a comic book collector who burns comic books to make his comic book collection more valuable. I think that would play for a modern audience. Anyway,
Labubu's. Yeah.
What's that James Bond villain's name? Comic book guy.
It would be a French name because Labubu
Yeah.
sounds French, right? So it'd be like, it's like, well, Mr. Bond,
Labubu.
no, my plan is to melt all of the Labubus down in the entire world into one giant Labubu and then send it to the moon, and we call it the Lamoon Moon.
Labu Moon.
He's part minion. Labubu.
His minions are just dressed like minions.
They're
Okay,
dressed
this
like
is kinda weird.
Labubus. They have the weird rabbit costumes. And
With like the scary
Yeah.
face, but somehow still cute. Mr. Long also tells him to go get Lei Hu, the weird mustache guy, to tell him to get the guns ready. There's also a large group of investigators in town, and then we get the credits for the movie. And I think a
And the
montage been. Oh yeah, and the theme music, which was good. Like the score of this movie is pretty tight.
yeah, it was. It had like some holdover '60s energy, where that that like sort of like slappy guitar that has like the echo pedal on her, like like I super like that. Like it reminded me of like the original Star Trek, like when they would go down to like a weird planet or something. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, something's up down here. So there's gonna be a flower that spurts orange mist in your face or some shit. Yeah.
There's a montage of investigators coming to town, I think, but also something that stuck out to me is this movie was not directed by John Woo, but instead by Wu Yu Sheng, which is, of course, his government name.
Yeah.
Yeah, he almost called himself John Woohoo.
And they were like, I don't know, man. So we do meet the young dragons, Jin and Kid. They're lying in wait, and they basically get in the way of this gun smuggle deal.
It's like a trade-off. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
like we're gonna
trade.
pay you for the guns, and yeah, they show up and just absolutely shit kick everybody.
Yeah, but this part was lost in translation to me, I think, because they're like he takes one gun, and what he ends up doing with the gun is taking it back and be like, I have one of your guns, I'll give you the rest of them if you give me money. But he's like, what are we gonna do with the rest of the guns? And I was like, I don't know, throw them in the ocean. Now, was
He
that
doesn't like guns. He likes solving his problems with his feet and his fists.
so? He never was going to give up the guns. He literally just throws them in the ocean.
Yeah, I think that that's part of his character is that he actually doesn't like
Okay.
lethal violence. Like he doesn't mind beating you up, but he's not going to shoot you in the head and kill you. Like he's like, no,
He's a criminal with like principles, and the
Like a
principles
Peter
are
Pan.
well, it's like it's what you used to see with like a lot of gangs, like in that time period. They all had like a certain standard that they would follow, and upon seeing this new trend, more usage of guns, they insert themselves in a situation with like this sense of honor that they have.
Yeah.
So we're being presented a character that we don't often see nowadays. Nowadays, if it was updated for modern times, it'd be some kind of money scheme, right? That would be the main focus, as opposed to like principled action. I'm getting rid of all the guns.
yeah.
It'd
And this
be a
character would
computer
be
program that takes 1 cent off every dollar and puts
Yeah.
the 1 cent.
but also
into
this
another bank
character
account.
this character would be difficult to convey in a modern retail. Like the
Yeah.
closest that I'm thinking of is like, did you guys ever see like the Tron Legacy movie that came out
Yeah.
like in 2010?
Tron
or
Ares.
whatever? No, not
Tron
the
Legacy.
new,
No,
not the new
Legacy.
one. Tron Legacy, yeah.
Yeah.
Where
Was that recently?
he like goes in and like basically deletes all the servers or whatever. That's sort of like the equivalent where he's like, no, I'm gonna take this out, but like he's also utilizing violence to, like I'm willing to beat the shit out of people, but I'm like a Robin Hood kind of thing. Like I'm gonna give it to everybody for free.
I said Peter Pan, but I meant Robin Hood. I think a modern version.
I
of
did
this
not
would
know
be-
what you meant by Peter Pan. I'm like,
Yeah, I know.
have no idea
I
what
realize now that when you
Yes,
said Robin
and
Hood, I was
you
like,
yes, and Steven, way to go.
Yeah. I didn't want to shit on you for that because I'm like, I don't know, maybe he means something and I don't understand.
I appreciate that. I've been watching a lot of our old episodes over the last couple of days, and you actually yes and me a lot, and I do appreciate it. And I just want to give you a shout out because you, I'm always
I only
hyper-focused
take
when
a
you call
dump
me
on you
out.
if you really fuck up.
Yeah, well, if I really fuck up, and a lot of times I'll say some shit, and now in retrospect, I'm like, don't let him say that, and you're like, yes, and okay. The modern version of it would be like an AI thing, and a Peter Pan would come along and be like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna delete your AI."
Yeah.
James Bond.
The main difference between Peter Pan and Robin Hood is that Peter Pan is a selfish prick and Robin Hood is not.
Jin in this movie is actually acts more like Peter Pan, but does Robin Hood likes things.
Yeah.
Because Jin's characterization is very like he seems like he's just come of age, and he's very confident, and he's a very good fighter. So that's where I got the anime. Like, kind of reminds me of like Naruto. After Naruto's been through a bunch of stuff, it gets a bit more confident. That's what I kind of was.
But he also seems to be like he's probably on like a winning streak, right? That's the level of confidence this guy has, and not just in fights, but in like gambling and like almost anything that he does. He probably has that sort of natural ability.
The best prostitute is his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has that natural ability to be good at things on the first try or the second try. Like he might fail a little bit, but on the second try he's better at it. That's kind of like the energy I get from this guy, where it's like he doesn't have a lot of experience with failure, which is why later in the movie he considers what happens to be the worst thing that's ever happened to him in his life, because he probably doesn't experience failure a lot, and that's why he decides to give up smoking or whatever.
Yeah,
when he breaks his grill into a little smoking holder and have it, he's like, I gotta stop smoking these cigarettes.
I'm wondering if that was supposed to be he's smoking weed or like opium.
I think it's
or
just
something.
supposed to be tobacco. I think it's just
yeah.
At this point, it's just tobacco. It's not.
There's nothing like, it doesn't seem like it's affecting him in any way, and when he gives it up, there's no negative effect to it. So it's not like it doesn't seem like it's an addiction thing so much as it's just supposed to be this sort of like character tropey thing where it's like it looks cool that he's doing it. They even caught something that I was like, wow, this is amazing. It's when he's like sitting on the rock and he's blowing the smoke out, and it's coming in one perfect little stream out of his mouth in the way that you would see in like a watercolor painting or something, like it pulls out perfectly behind his head. And I'm like, that's what you would see in an illustration. And this movie is far too old for them to have done anything digitally. That's just happening naturally.
Yeah.
And I was super impressed, because I was like, how did they achieve this? And it's like wind and him actually smoking. Yeah.
Being present for that great shot.
Yeah,
good smoking actor. So we get a little bit with Lei Hu. He's mad about the interception, but now we're introduced to the brothel. Is the best way I can probably put it. I wrote over now to some babes and perverts. Slap to the balls. Is this going to be a love interest or just hookers? Well, turns out.
Both.
We'll get to both. So Rouge is with this John, essentially, and a series of things happen that are kind of funny. She like distracts him and lifts money off of him and stuffs it down her top, and then she just kind of like smooth talks him into just going in his pants, and he's like, my legs are wet, and then she's like, okay, well, you gotta go, buddy. And he's doing that like kind of anime thing where he's all like messed up because he's just come, and he pulls him across the floor, and like he prematurely, and then pulls him across the floor, and there's a wet streak. And I thought, what a funny, almost R-rated, X-rated thing to be in a movie from the 70s. Like, I can see why the censors were like, you can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, in the dub, he says that he wet his pants, which is like, I assume that means he peed his pants, but at the same time, he definitely came in his pants. Like, there's no doubt in anybody's mind. But the streak that's left on the floor, that's a lot of cum. That's like a lot of cum.
That's why she's the best.
She's the best in the business. Yeah.
And also, I learned that John Woo is fucking hilarious. That's you know what I mean. Like that. What a funny thing that this movie has.
They also cast like a weird guy. Like he looks weird. You know, the guy that's like
weird.
Chasing, and he's like doing all these weird things. Like, oh, and you're like, okay, man, what is going on here? She's like, she already robbed him, but then she's still willing to fuck him, and then he's like, no.
He's like, I'm gonna give you something at least.
Yeah, I just stole all your money. You can at least like lick my boob or something. And he's like,
doesn't even make it to that. Yeah. Doesn't even make it. She merely alludes to the fact she has breasts, and he just explodes.
Yeah, he does look like a guy who's probably never seen a bare breast before, and he still hasn't at the end of the scene. Yeah, he gets dragged out of there by his cummy pants and thrown out, I guess.
But yeah, that's why she's bottom bitch. Jin shows up. Yeah, I thought that'd be funny to say. Jin shows up and he shows her the gun, and he tells her that he got a small sum with the fun from Lei Hu, with the gun from Lei Hu, and she is his love interest, or like. It's not a love interest in a way that's like what we think is going to happen later with a fiance, but it is very much like they're partners and friends. And she comments they're both good at swindling, so they're both thieves in arms.
Which automatically, from a modern lens, you're like, well, I kind of see what's going to end up happening. Once you have like a love interest that's a quote unquote friend and like a fellow in arms, there's only a couple of things that a lot of storytellers do with that type of person.
Yeah,
right?
They die, they fall in love, or they betray them. Those are the three options, basically. Yeah.
So, yeah. So,
but this was interesting because like they really frame it like they're pals and lovers, but he doesn't care that she's a prostitute, and she kind of cares that, you know, he's a handsome guy and probably has a lot of girlfriends and stuff, but it doesn't really seem like they're too pressed about it either way.
Positive attitude towards sex work. Great job.
Yeah.
In the 70s.
Yeah, they didn't make it seem like these people are, you know, terrible, you know, which is like a lot of movies, even like into the 90s and even beyond that. It's like, you know, a sex worker is often sort of depicted as like it's like the scum of the earth. They have absolutely nothing. I think that like westerns, and this movie kind of feels like a western in a lot of ways. They romanticize it in a way where it's like, you're a criminal, I'm, you know, sort of like considered to be low rung in society. We're friends, and that happens a lot. But you know, you look at something like, I don't know, did you guys watch like the Penguin Show or whatever, where like his only friend in the world is like a prostitute or whatever? He's like, I thought we were supposed to be friends or whatever over here.
I watched He Got Game recently, and Mila Jovovich, Hooker with a Heart of Gold character, reminded me of this sort of thing too, where he you know, Denzel Washington goes to pay her to have sex, and he really just wants to talk, and she's like, you paid me. But then he falls in love with her. It's more complicated than obviously this movie, but that's what I was thinking of while I was watching this. I was like, they're friends with each other, and they're okay with each other's shortcomings and the lives they decide to live. Because obviously Jin's off doing this shit all the time, robbing thieves and
Robin Hooding,
doing Peter Pan style maneuvers, and
I believe
giving to the old and stealing from the old and giving to the young.
He is lost boys instead of merry men.
Yeah, exactly.
He breaks a guy's both his shins, and he's like, "Just think happy thoughts, and you can walk home, asshole."
You're doing it, Peter.
Oh my god.
You're doing it, Robin. Oh man.
There you are, Peter.
Oh, there you are, Peter. He's like, he's wiping blood off his face. Oh, there you are, Peter.
I needed a picture of like it was him eating food, and he's like, "Why is everyone's plate empty?"
Yeah.
Like, kid is there with just like this empty bowl, just like.
Oh man.
Yeah.
We've done Robin Hood and Peter. We've done Robin Hood and Hook on this show.
Yeah.
And now we've somehow combined.
Now I want to do Hook again. Let's just talk about Hook. No,
Let's just
Hook
do
is
Hook
awesome, though.
Hook is the best.
Yeah.
Lei Hu goes to see Mr. Long. He's naturally very mad about the situation. And Lei Hu is like, well, I'll track him down. But Mr. Long's like, listen, man, you already lost the guns. Don't go rushing in there. Think before acting, which is great advice.
Which is great to hear. Like, you know, the villain actually has like a head on his shoulders. It produces more conflict and raises the stakes, as opposed to this mindless like, I want my guns, I want my money, type of thought process.
Which we do see, he is kind of like that throughout the movie, but in this scene particularly, he's like, you came to me with this deal, you fucked it up, and now what do you want me to do about it? You got to figure it out. You're the one that lost the shit to this random thief. But
he does also prove that he's like, he does not want to be fucked with later. Like, he's like, I will fuck you up if you don't fix it, by the way. Yeah.
Then there's this scene where like Jin goes into the betting parlor and he places a bet, and then he has this like, they're playing some sort of like domino. It's not, I don't know if it's mahjong, but it's some sort of domino style game. Like, it might just be dominoes.
It's basically like poker, but they're playing with dominoes.
Yeah.
But he got
there are many. That's the great thing about dominoes, is that they have so many different, like, I mean, it's like, it is like cards, right? Like, cards have 10, 15 different games you can play off the top of your head, and then there's probably a million you don't know about. Dominoes are the same thing. It's like, it's cool, except easier to carry around a deck of cards in your pocket than a whole domino set. That's probably pretty cumbersome, you know.
I got a domino set for Christmas one year, and I knew how to play like dominoes.
The one where you set them up and knock them over.
No,
Jason thing.
The one where you you go like this, and then you go like this, and then
you connect the numbers together.
Yeah.
Did you slam the pieces down though?
No. Well, that's what I was going to say. There's a version of dominoes that happens in gangster movies from the 90s.
I thought you were going to say black movies, but
no, I wasn't. I was not.
That would have been acceptable because that's what I traditionally see.
That's what I was talking about.
I wasn't going to say that, but now that you said it, yes.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I only know a couple of dominoes, but yeah, I'm not familiar with the one they're playing in this. I assume it's like poker, right? Because they have like that. He shows up with what, like 2 2s or something, and then the other guy shows up with like, I don't know what you would call it, like 29s or something.
Yeah.
21?
29s beat your 2 2s. But Fan is there during all of this, and Kid sees him approach. Meanwhile, they're playing for silver in the game. He wins big. His opponent puts up 1/5 of the land Mr. Long has given him. I wrote down, that seems like a bad idea.
This is awful.
Yeah, and Jin says, I don't want land, I want money. So meanwhile, Kid tries to rob Fan on a bridge, like outside, and he bumps into him and steals his wallet. Also, terrible move. This Fan guy is a literal like police investigator,
and also good at shit kicking people. He's
crazy good.
Got Neo skills, you know. He can triple kick you,
and he catches him immediately. He's like,
but he doesn't know. He doesn't know that Kid is an idiot. But Kid's also good at fighting too, which is like surprising. Because when you first see him kind of punch it and kick a couple people, but like by the end of the movie, I'm like, oh, he's also really good at flipping around. Remember when he's about to leave that one scene and he does like a full like
just does a backflip
or whatever? You're like, what the hell? He's like, it's faster this way. This is how I get around.
Yeah.
Like in a video game where you jump everywhere because it's slightly faster, or at least you have the impression that it is. That's how he
In
gets
Symphony of the Night, you just go backwards everywhere because it's slightly faster. That's one that I came to mind immediately. And rolling in Ocarina of Time at least gives the impression you're going faster. I think speedrunners do it.
There was one thing that I unlocked recently, which was that in Mass Effect, the sprint button doesn't actually make you go faster. It just makes it look like you're going faster because it like they add speed lines or whatever, and you're not actually moving faster at all. That broke my heart. I was like,
that's wild.
Everywhere. Yeah, I sprinted everywhere, and it was a lie. It was a lie.
Man, yeah, I'm playing the Dragon Quest remakes right now, and the run button makes you go like half a step faster, and I'm like, what is even the point of this? And now I'm wondering, because of the Mass Effect thing, if it even is making me go faster. So
if it's a BioWare game, then they're probably not. I'm like, I don't know, just add speed lines. Everybody will think you're going faster.
But yeah, they have a quick fight, and Jin shows up, and then they fight each other, and it's pretty evenly matched. Fan reveals that Kid stole his wallet. I wrote Little Jimmy. Jaemeel knows what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
Jin returns it and then asks his name, and he merely just says a passerby. So the original title was based off of this interaction, I suppose.
I think that's a cooler name than the Young Dragons, but I mean, the Young Dragons is a cool name as well. The Young Dragons sounds like a hockey team or something, you know, like
or it's just feeding off of the Bruce Lee hype. It's like,
yeah. Also, like the passerby is like so mysterious sounding. Like that's such a mysterious title. I like that way better. But the Young Dragons sound like a bunch of people who would kick the shit out of you.
There's a movie from the 80s called Kung Fu Kids, The Young Dragons, which I'm almost positive Three Ninjas was based off of.
Yes.
There's a movie from like 2009 called Kung Fu Panda. It's like one of the best movies I ever saw. It has a sequel too. The second one's even better than the first one.
There's 4 of them, plus a bunch of
what? You told me there's 4? Holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie though, Kung Fu Panda 2 is like in my top 10 best movies of all time. I'm not
really.
Yes, I love that movie so fucking much. It's so good. It's so good. Okay. Don't tell anybody, internet, that's watching this right now. But
cover your ears, internet.
I love Kung Fu Panda 2 so goddamn much. It's the best.
So Finn reveals that Little Jimmy stole his wallet, like I said. Jin returns it, asks his name, passerby, and then more guys appear, and then they want Mr. Long's money. So there's a huge...
Excuse me, those aren't just some guys. That's the T-shirt gang. I told you about the T-shirt gang shows up.
The T-shirt gang shows up.
T-shirt gang.
And they say, we're going to get bandana money back, you assholes, and you're all going off the bridge today. And then they just absolutely fuck them up. And you know what? He just sits on the edge and watches the whole time. And like, he doesn't even help.
Yeah, I love it.
He doesn't need to.
Yeah, they fight together very well. And I guess they're best friends now. He tells Mr. Passerby to meet him. Jin tells Mr. Passerby to meet him at the Drunk Flower. And yeah, they meet up. Jin has a plan. Get Kid to gather a crew. It's going to be big. They're going to do some sort of maybe like a heist. I don't know. Over to Woman. Yan Hong.
Woman shows up.
Fan greets her. They're greeted by Zhao Hong, the brother of the fiance, and this is when it gets complicated because all these names. Yun Fei, the assassin, that's what I'm going to call him, is the assassin, the guy from the start. He's kind of watching all of this. He's kind of figuring out his next move.
He's doing like a Nacho Libre, like from behind the tree.
Yeah.
Or you know that meme of the guy who's like,
yeah.
Immediately knew who you were talking about.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
Yeah. He's doing that.
Yeah.
Over to Hu and Mr. Long. They're looking at some Japanese guns worth over 10K silver, and it is. Oh wait, sorry. Was this when Jin? This is Jin showing up with the one gun to be like, I have the guns. Mr. Lei is going to pay for the shipment back to Mr. Long.
Honestly, Jason, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It kind of got muddled all in here.
This is what the scene is. Jin goes with his one gun to be like, I have
it's
the
very
guns.
rare that I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't even know what was happening.
Lei Hu.
I know that she
Mr.
doesn't she tell a story about her dad dying or something? Like he gets thrown out.
That's later. That's later.
Okay.
That's later. This is
But
where
there's a moment where she comes around the corner. It's like ding, 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 and she's got those spirally sideburns, and he's like, "Holy fuck, she's hot."
That's later too. The last scene was just the establishing that Fan is with Han Yang and Jun Chao or Jun Yang is there. The next scene is Jin going into the belly of the beast with this one gun and being like, I got the guns if you got the money. And he asked for $10,000. But then one of the goons from the bridge fight shows up. Jin punches him in the face and he's like, we're going to get this deal made. So that's the next scene is Yan Hong, the woman, the fiance.
So rare that
Fan.
Jason pays way more attention to a movie than anybody else on the podcast. But holy shit, I'm glad about it right now because I don't even.
I don't
remember any of this.
I almost asked you if you wanted to do this.
No, not for this movie.
Just be very thankful.
To reading the titles, that's where I'm a Viking. Yan Hong reminisces about Mr. Long killing her dad. We see a flashback with Mr.
That's
Long.
what I was talking about.
Yes,
yeah.
That's the next scene. They murder him. The dad.
So wait, where is he going though? Because he's going to a house, and she comes out from behind a corner, and she's like,
"That's the scene before the last scene. That's just establishing that
she's
Fan,
supposed to be very hot or whatever." And he's like, "Oh, good to meet
very
you."
Attractive.
Yeah.
But there's a scene later where Jin meets her at that same house, and they have that weird they lock eyes, and that's when I was like, "Oh, they're going to be romantically involved."
And
she is very attractive.
What's it called? The Ironside theme from Kill Bill plays like
basically. Dun, 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 dun. But let me get through this. Let me get through this scene. Basically, the dad of Yan Hong refused to join him because Mr. Long or Mr. Leung was a gun smuggler, and he doesn't jive with that. Fan Ming has evidence to take down Mr. Long, but Yan Hong doesn't want to get him involved. Back over to Jin and Rouge. She asked him if. Okay, so so all of that has happened. We get a lot of backstory there. I'm changing the subject.
Who would have thought that Jason playing a bunch of convoluted video games, like Japanese video games, his entire life would help us figure out a fucking Chinese movie?
When this movie started, I immediately that opening sequence with Mr. Long and like all the stuff happening, I was like, it's gonna go in one eye and out the other. There's no way that I'm
in one eye and out the other. I think that was so painful. Yeah,
it just breaks a hole like
he shoots a laser and it like cuts like a whole window in half. Like, oh god. All right.
So okay. So over to Jin and Rouge. She asks him if he finds her beautiful. She does. She asks him if he finds her beautiful. He does. Sorry. They bang, I assume. Well, they kiss very hard. Then Yun Fei returns the info to Mr. Long. Yun Fei is the assassin. Tells him about Fan Ming, who's the passerby. Yun Fei has a revenge plot on him too because Fan Ming killed his brother.
Yep.
Says he's tough as nails and a good fighter. So Mr. Long says, don't go and fight him directly. Ambush him. So now we get to the deal. This is the deal that I put in the intro video. The one of the longer fights of the whole movie. Jin shows up. The henchmen show up. They make the exchange. The guns for the money, but the money is the money and the guns is rocks. And they have a giant epic fight. You can just imagine 10 guys just.
The t-shirt gang is there. The gray shirt gang is there. Everybody you know is there. Yeah.
There's a part where he takes like the leader of the t-shirt gang. They fight up a rock. They fight on top of a rock. It's very cinematic. Some of the best framing in the movie is the part where they're fighting. It's like a Mortal Kombat level or a Street Fighter level. They're up on top of these rocks. He finally finishes them off, punches them into the water. We saw that in the opening. It was so fucking good.
That was great.
I loved this sequence. They get the silver. There's that funny thing where he's like, I can't carry this out here on my own. It's too heavy. So like 3 guys just like take it out of there for him.
But he also he says you guys split it amongst yourselves. Like he doesn't even want it. That's
Correct.
how you know he's a true Robin Hood, or a Peter Pan. Sorry, I forgot that we decided to call him that instead.
That we're insane people.
Yeah.
He's like Spider-Man. Action is his reward.
Action is his reward. Yeah. He's your friendly neighborhood Peter Pan.
Peter Hood.
Peter Hood is what I got removed when I was a baby.
Hey, I understand what you mean by that. See, that's why calling it a Peter Tingle is so fucking funny. Only certain people actually get the joke in Homecoming when she's like, "It's your Peter Tingle." I was like, "That's good. That's elite ball knowledge of names for penises."
I don't think so. I think it's just cock knowledge.
I think it just means yeah.
Cock knowledge is also, when people say the School of Hard Knocks, I went to the School of Hard Cocks.
Yeah.
Cock knowledge was my name in high school.
Yeah. Your name? Not even your nickname, just your name.
No, just they called me
Cock
that.
knowledge here.
They legally called me that.
Yeah.
The president
would be astounded at the fun facts of cock knowledge that you had. You just broke out a,
my God, this man has more knowledge than anybody else.
Yeah, some cock quips.
One testicle actually has a vast deference, which is different than the other testicles. Yes. That's elite cock knowledge. The end of the fight is Jin kicking a guy off a cliff. They get the silver, as I said. So we go over to the Wan Li casino. Zhao Hong encounters Yun Fei. He says he's a friend. But we have your sister. So they kick the shit out of him, and Yun Fei wants his help to find Fan Ming. And then my next note is Jin loves hookers. And then he's like, you can have several husbands, but I can't have several wives. And I thought that was funny. Also,
I thought that was funny.
Fan hangs up. He wants to be his friend. Tells him about his feud with Mr. Long. They conspire to bring him down with the law, which is very,
I mean, they have a lawman in town. The investigator, Inspector, whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah, I don't have his name written down yet here.
I do also love that, Inspector is such a cool title. We don't have that in North America, right? No one's called the inspector or whatever, right? I don't think so.
Well, Inspector Gadget, I think, but besides him, I don't.
But I mean,
is the role, but it's very specific.
Yeah, to cockroach inspection, or I'm a duct inspector, I'm inspecting the ducts for dust. But to be a crime inspector is that's so cool. Is that a real title in North America? I don't know if it is, because you never hear about it, at least. Detective is a thing we hear about all the time. Inspector, though, I don't know. That's a very European.
Yeah. Yes, there are many types of inspectors in Canada. Federal agencies, Health Canada.
Yeah, it's I'm here to inspect to make sure there's no radon in the building or whatever.
Transport Canada.
Transport Canada. These are not cool.
RCMP has a rank of inspector as commissioned officer rank within its organizational structure. So the lame RCMP dorks have an inspector class.
But it's probably they're probably there to inspect the other detectives, and that's probably what their job is. They're internal affairs kind of thing, That's why you never hear about them solving crimes. I just
When
like
I think Inspector, I think of those two twins from Tintin.
Yeah, me too. I was thinking the exact same thing. Like in my head, I was picturing like the French drawings for some reason. Like that's what I think of. Or as you said, Inspector Gadget. Dun, 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 bum, bum. Okay, so let's get back to where we were.
Yes.
Okay. We're getting through it. Basically recruits him to help. They agree to meet and Jin tells him to be careful. And then also Xiao Hong tells Fan Ming Mr. Long has a deal. He's going to go down to the casino because he overheard at the casino that there's going to be a meeting between the smugglers. But he's actually been... So he had the sister or the fiance or the sister of Zhao tied up to a tree in a previous scene. Basically said, like, you got to get Fan out here. We got to ambush him. And this is all that coming to fruition. Zhao basically says to Fan, we got to go to the meet. We got to go to the meet. It's an ambush. Then also simultaneously, Jin and Rouge discuss being rich. Kid shows up. He's learned Mr. Long is meeting Fan Ming. They head to Fan's house and meet the sister. This was that scene where they're looking at each other with the dun 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 dun, dun theme kind of playing. And that I was like, are they going to do a thing here where they fall in love? Because at this point, I don't even know really what the relationship is between Fan Zhao and Yan Hong. So it's very confusing. Anyway, they don't fall in love. Spoilers, but seems like Jin.
So glad you brought it up. Yeah, a lot of the stuff in this movie, like I was saying, I would focus in on like, oh, okay, something's gonna happen here, and it never would. And I'm like, okay, the movie really is just about like stopping the bad guys. Like, there's nothing else important really happening.
There's no elaborate like, oh, this is the extra layer that's there.
There's no extra layer. It's just
it feels like he sets up a lot of extra layers that never really play out because there's not enough time. It felt like with the way the movie ends, he like ran out of time.
It's his first movie. He probably budget. He spent all his money on like dollies and tracking shots and stuff, and he's like, I don't know, we just need to get this done, so let's do it.
He probably had this elaborate multi-leveled story with these interactions that were supposed to play out later down the line. And then once you start filmmaking, is like, okay, the cutting starts happening in terms of what the payoffs for a lot of these different interactions and sequences.
Yeah, like what did the Passerby movie look like when it was shelved? And what did Golden Corral? What's that company's name?
Golden Harvest.
Golden Harvest.
Golden Corral. That's great.
Give me some hash browns and some eggs over easy, please.
What did that hyper violent for its era movie look like? And is there some? You know how sometimes we watch movies on this show and we're like, clearly their storyline got dropped and the rest of it's on the cutting room floor. Like, there are some elements of this movie that feel like there are artifacts left in from the.
I mean, a lot of those loose threads probably where like they're setting things up. But I mean, again, we're watching it through a dub, and you never know with a dub, especially with a movie this old, because like I could have watched a different dub than you guys did.
That's what I was saying early in the show, right? Like,
I saw this like interesting. I think it was a TikTok. I don't know, but it was showing. I think it was one of the Lupin movies that has been redubbed so many times since its original dub. And they've changed this like one scene every single time. There's sort of like a new global regime in terms of like what the perspective on the globe is. And it was like original like 1970 something. And then they did a new dub in the 90s, and they did a new dub in like the 2010s. And each time it almost like softens the idea of fascism, but also like ramps the idea of fascism in a new direction to whatever it is. Like it's supposed to be patriotic, but it's also like removing this sort of like attitude, depending on what the attitude of the era was.
Is this the Lupin the Third anime series from like the 80s?
I honestly can't remember what it was. I just it was 3 versions of this dub through, like 3 decades of when it's been redubbed. And it was interesting to be like, oh, they literally are changing it just so that they're like, I don't want to piss off too many people that are watching this, or I want to piss off the specific people that are watching this in a different direction. And it's like wild that they can take something like that and just change it. And they're not changing anything except for the person saying the lines, right? Like, because that's all you do with cartoons, right? You can actually do that.
This movie's 51 years old, so it stands to reason that there were some things lost even in the dubs we were watching. Because like I said, like the 2 versions that
whole scene with the coins was actually them talking about like, we love Hitler, he was great. You're like, wait, what? Wait a minute.
But the thing I noticed is especially is the version that Jaemeel sent me and the version I watched, the subtitles were 2 different colors, which means they were dubbed by different companies.
Yeah.
And they weren't subtitles that were like a track over top of the movie. They were baked in. So whatever production company released them, like we could be watching 2 separate things there.
It could be 2 separate VCD companies.
Yeah,
a movie like this, you would definitely find a VCD for.
We should have got a 4th guest who spoke the language. Yeah. You'd be like, yeah, it's pretty much the same. Oh well,
really. It's a pretty basic movie. Like if we didn't have any subtitles, I probably could have figured out what was going on. The bad guys are bad. They're smacking women around, and then there's a gun trade that goes wrong.
When I first watched the one that you gave me, I was like, should I just watch this with no subtitles and see if I can figure out what's happening? I might have been more engaged because I would have been like, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, they're talking about the guns in the car. I think. Yeah.
Did you end up seeing the version I sent?
I don't think so, no. Because I watched, because I went to the one that you sent me, Jason, and then I did not have time to bullshit around because it was already getting late. So I'm like, I'm just gonna find one, and I just found one randomly online, and I was like, okay, this has got subtitles. I'm gonna watch it now in a big comfy chair, and I got so sleepy.
Because Jaemeel, you sent me the version you sent me had white subtitles, and it was from a weird like Russian movie site.
I think that's the one I watched. It was a weird Russian site, and it was white subtitles. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
but and by white subtitles, it means like you should watch this if you're white. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Mine just kept reaffirming.
Mine took, no word of a lie, a month to download. I kept just like turning on my torrent,
Whoa. I remember you being like, I can't find this anywhere. It took you that long? It was just like,
yeah, and I just kept downloading in little segments every time I thought about it. And I was like,
probably downloaded a computer virus that's so powerful that it's in his actual body now.
Yeah. I got simplest from the internet.
Oh my
gosh.
It's
not great.
You asked me, and then I looked, and it took me about like 5 minutes for me to find the link.
Well,
me too.
I've been to that website before. I knew what it was immediately. But yeah, okay. So they head to Whitestone Hill for the meeting. Also I wrote, Fan Ming has a fan, which I didn't put together. I'm an idiot. So Zhao, as soon as they get there, Zhao runs away because it's an ambush. And they do this crazy rope up technique that I've never seen before.
Great.
Where 4 guys came and threw ropes and like got them all tangled up.
They weren't just 4 guys. That was the t-shirt gang. And they also specialize in skipping rope fights. I don't know if you noticed, but that's what they were doing.
Which was
that
perfect.
sequence was fantastic.
What do you call it? They double dutched the fuck.
They double dutched them. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I love the fact that a lot of times in a lot of these martial arts films, you see it's often this one dude that just they're unable to beat, as opposed to a group. We've all seen the putty-like actions where maybe 1 or 2 of them come at a time, and the hero's able to easily dispatch them, take on the whole army because they only rush 1 or 2. This one is a great like setup where they know that he's obviously much more skilled than they are, and they create this scenario that just limits his mobility, and he's still able to like overcome to a certain point, but slowly but surely they're able to wear him down, and we're able to see this occur over the course of like this fight sequence, as
like 4
opposed
minutes.
to
Yeah.
as opposed to just a lot of martial arts that they in the day is can't beat a dude, tries repeatedly, the person is able to easily dispatch him, and he's frustrated until he eventually loses. Whereas this one, there's little sparks of hope. Is like maybe he can get out of it, and they just pull it back. And
you are thinking that
hope
the whole
spot.
time, being like, I think he can get out, but like he doesn't. And I do like that they did have to use some sort of weird unorthodox way of like lassoing him, basically like a steed, like he's like a horse that they're like, we got to take this guy down together, and they do, which is like unfortunate, but at the same time, it's pretty cool. And like you don't expect him to go down, but at the same time, we have two heroes, so you're like, one is expendable, one isn't, but at the same time, you're like, okay, so this is going to be the moment that spurs the other. What's his name? Peter Pan. He's got to spur. He's got to pull himself out of Neverland, pull himself up by his green tights, and break his smoking habit to be able to save the day. But it is
to make it up to Jack. You know,
to
make it up to Jack.
He needs to make it up to his boy. His boy. He's got to take his boy home, back to the real world.
Yeah.
I did like it though, and it's also, again, one of the scenes where I'm like, the camera work here is interesting and cool, and they do a lot of these like really long shots that feel scary, like they're reminiscent of a bunch of people attacking one man with ropes and pulling him in different directions. You can attach to it what you want, but it's like it's freaky as fuck. Like it's. I wanted him to get out. I wanted him to like pull a guy in and like and then like pull another guy in, and you're like, no, he's taken out. He's being pulled in too many different directions at once. But this is also his downfall, right? Like he didn't trust anybody else to bring in on the, like he trusted the guy, the brother, who also knew that he was going to betray him. And then when the brother runs away, I'm like, his brother is gonna get fucked, and he does. Doesn't he get stabbed in like the heart or something?
Well, no. So what happens here is Fan fights them off, but he gets stabbed. Mr. Long and Yo Fan or Yo.
Can you actually just clarify something? The guy that leads him to the beach, right? Because they're at like a beach or something, right?
Yeah.
Did that guy know they were going to betray him? Because he runs away, right? But then he also gets killed.
There's in that previous scene, the assassin guy shows up and he's like, I'm gonna kill your sister, who's the fiance, if you don't bring Fan to this ambush. And then Fan is like, you gotta come with me. You gotta come show me where it is. And the second they get there, that's why he runs away, because he's like, I don't want any part of this. I'm a wuss. And
so
then
he didn't know that.
He knew that there was going to be an ambush.
Okay, but then he gets killed, so they betrayed him as well. Because like there was a moment where I'm like,
right.
he did.
During all of this, he does get killed like shortly. Yes,
there was also a moment where I'm like, are they gonna like draw? You know, when like they used to in medieval times, where they used to like attach your legs and arms to like horses and like pull you apart
in different directions.
Yeah, like are they gonna do this to him? Like, or are they gonna do like, you know, in like in an old like ships, like a line would go across and like pull you so tight that it would just like pop you in half or whatever. I'm like, is this going to happen? It didn't, but I was scared. It was. And
so what happened?
Maybe in the original cut where it was too gruesome, maybe something like that did happen. Who knows? Maybe they got him by all his ankles and legs.
Well, what happens here is still pretty brutal. Like the assassin shows up on a horse and he gets the tied up Fan and starts dragging him. And luckily Jin and Kid show up because they kick him off the horse. In the end of the scene, like they end up kicking the shit out of Fan more, and then kicking him off a hill into the water, and we don't see him again. But
we've all seen a John Woo movie, and we're like, if you don't see the death, he will be alive. he's coming back at some point.
But the thing is like Kid runs in and starts fighting the assassin while Jin goes to help out Fan, and actually does okay. But Fan does, or Yao Men or whatever his name is, does this crazy move where he like double punches his stomach, and I'm like, yeah, you got to punch the fat guy in the stomach to kill him. But later when you see him, he's got this crazy bruise across his stomach,
Yeah,
and then
it's
he
great.
dies in Jin's arms, which is a very hard-boiled thing. Nah, big
Yeah.
pain.
He also barfed up a bunch of hard-boiled eggs after he got punched in the stomach.
Yes.
Jason laughed.
Yeah, it was too much for him. But they did give Kid his hero spot at the end just before he passed, and gave him the matches, and he was able to finally
Do the
hit
trick,
that move. Yeah.
which is deserved. He has to have something, right? Like he can't
Yeah.
not have that. I also kind of like the getting kicked into the lake or the ocean or whatever and coming back. Like it's a trope that I think to me is important. But like I think most movies now in like a modern cinema lens, when somebody gets kicked off into the water, you see them go in and you're like, and you know they're not dead, right? Like it's more about them. If anybody gets thrown in the water in anything that where they're usually not a main character, or they've been clearly killed, like shot in the back of the head or something, and then they're thrown in the water. It's like, we're getting rid of the body. Was there a moment for you that you were like, he's dead? Because there wasn't for me. I was like, he's coming back. We didn't see him die. He's coming back. He just got beat up.
He was always never gonna be dead, honestly. But they at the very least, they did a great job of making the suspension of him rolling closer and closer to the edge of the hill, and running to try and see if they can get to him. I thought that was great. They did a good job of really stretching that out while Kid is fighting, hoping that hey, he catches him and then is able to run back and they can both fight off the assassin together. But he dies, and he dies. He dies.
Those
As
cool
he just
yeah.
he just stumbles into the water, and you're like, oh.
I don't know if you know this, but Death, the actual entity Death, is a fan of our show, and anytime people don't do that, he's like, no. Yeah, okay, yeah. If you put the quotations, like, yeah. I wasn't there, and I was never meant to be there.
Oh, wow. Very
I think
bright.
we put a nail in the coffin of that scene, Jason. We can move on whenever you're ready.
My whole shit exploded. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm getting this thing now where it says use Google Chrome and ensure it has hardware acceleration enabled. I can't do a virtual background.
Can't believe you have that homophobic light on in your house.
It's so homophobic. Look how it undulates.
I was thinking about doing a rawhide type of lighting sequence.
I don't understand why it's not working.
Like,
okay, I gotta get this fixed because I can't have this non-background. But basically, what happens next is Kid dies. Fan rolls down a hill and falls into the ocean. Jin finds the fan and then finds the mortally wounded Kid. Jin loses 2 comrades in one day. Kid finally does the match trick. Can I have a cigarette? And
we did
dies.
that. We talked about that. Yeah.
Okay. The score here is awesome for all of this, but now it's revengeance time. Jin goes back to tell Fan's fiance about Fan, gives her his fan covered in blood. She opens the fan covered in blood.
I think maybe that might be my favorite moment in the whole movie. The fan opening with blood all over it. That's because he was always had the fan with him, right? Like slapping things and fanning himself, and like there's something cool about, because those types of fans often they have like a design in them, and when it starts to open, you see the blood, and you're like, what's the design going to be? And you're like, oh no, it's the blood from when he died, which is cool. That's very cool.
Mm-hmm. Just one sec.
Jesus, what do you feel about the fan, Jaemeel?
It's always great to give your hero something that really attaches you to the hero. Otherwise, you're kind of, what is he going to be like? He's gone. And it's just a scene that really does not have any type of energy or action. And
the main 3 characters of this movie, there's our boy from the beginning has the cigarette holder that he smokes out of constantly. You know, we keep saying Mr. Long. I was like, maybe we should call him Mr. Lung because whoa, those lungs are putting in a lot of work in this movie. But and then he has the fan, and then the other guy, the assassin, has rape, I guess, is like his personality. I don't know, but
no, okay. I've waited long enough in this to talk about this. The assassin to me gave me vibes of what's his name, Corey Feldman. He looked like an Asian Corey Feldman.
He does kind of look a little bit like Corey Feldman, yeah.
And it's just so awkward to me this entire film.
I have a friend in my real life named Jason, not the Jason we're talking to now, but another Jason, and he looks a lot like this man.
Ooh.
In like crazy, like to the point that I'm like, oh man, this guy is. And then as soon as he started doing like really bad shit, I was like, oh, I was like texting Jason, being like, I'm watching a movie with this character, and I was like, delete. Never mind, don't watch this. Yeah,
I'll be back in 1 sec. I gotta figure out this background thing. Just 1 sec. You guys keep talking.
Well, how did you feel about the fan? My reaction to the fan. You heard what I had to say. How did you feel about what I had to say?
I mean, the fact that each character has an affectation is brilliant and good, and like I think that that's something that you need to do because it characterizes that character. Like, what does the fan represent to him? What does it represent to us? To us, it's almost like he is, you know, you would use a fan to cool yourself, right? But he's also using it as a way to like get people out of his way. It's also the thing that broadcasts his death to everybody else in the movie, which is like, that's cool and interesting, where it's like, it's usually blank. It's not full of information, but the information that we get from it later is that like his blood is spattered across it and we know he's dead.
It's an information device. So just imagine it's an information device and also a tool for the actor as well. So you give an actor and say, okay, you're this character, but a lot of times you see they're like, okay, this is your character, and they would hand something to the person. Like, let's say if you have a streetwise character, might have like a Zippo lighter that he's constantly playing with, right?
Like in Hard Boiled, yeah.
In Hard Boiled, right? Right. You want a quirk that doesn't necessarily take too much away from the character, but also provides character. Just to like, I always like to think about this. Just imagine if the character is in a poorly lit room and there was just a spotlight and the person walks in and has something in their hand, would you be able to easily identify that character?
Absolutely.
And with that fan, you would immediately know who you're watching.
And same with the cigarette holder for the other guy. Even things as simple as like that sort of goofy handlebar mustache on that one guy. It's like we know who he is because he's the only one that has that as well, right? Yeah. And even as something as simple as the mole on that. So like the woman has a mole on like the bottom of her chin, right? That's the first thing that we see of her. Like when she's shown to us, it's like a supreme, like maximalized close up of just her mouth and the mole. And that burns into your brain who that character is. And every time that you see her later, if you see a mole, you're like, oh, okay, so she's like, sometimes it'll just focus on the mole. And it's like that is her affectation, right? I like that stuff. It's interesting. It's the way you would draw a comic book if you were to make a bunch of characters right now and be like, what do people know them for? It wouldn't necessarily be like we know them for their mole, but like the mole is a part of their character, and when you see the mole, you immediately identify them with the mole. As you said, same with the fan, same with the cigarette holder.
It's the visual language. So regardless of what artist comes in to take over the comic book, for example, you see the mole, you know exactly who that person is. Peter Parker doesn't look the same across all the different artists, but they've created who we know Peter Parker to be. And therefore, all the different interpretations has a lot of the different aspects and visual clues for us to automatically know that this is this person, this is this person.
Yeah, even like Spider-Man doesn't look the same. You know, like Spider-Man changes all the time, and it's
his eye size changes constantly, but it's always the like.
I think when I think of that example that you just gave, I think of like The Walking Dead, which is like a comic book that I was very into for a very long time, and has like famously gone through so many different renditions of artists, right? Like if you watch, or sorry, if you read the first, I don't know, like year of content of that, it's like this very unique, interesting style that almost is like an amalgamation of like Disney character design with super graphic, gory stuff, and then it eventually almost becomes this sort of like newspaper print looking thing, almost like a 1950s style or an 80s style. Like it changes throughout. But you know, Dale has a hat, but the Dale hat is there, and you know it's Dale because you can see the hat. Like, and that's those are just old tricks, you know. Like, anyway,
the governor has an eye patch.
And he doesn't talk like that. He's a pervert in like comic books. He's a psychopath. He also has like a down to his ass ponytail.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah, he's completely different. The governor's completely different in the comic, and he's more like Negan before Negan is, and then Negan is.
The way I picture the governor talking in the comic was like, "Yeah, well, you know what? I fucking loved my daughter over here. That's how I liked it."
Okay. So when Jin goes back to the fiance to talk about Fan and gives her the fan that's covered in blood, and we talked about that element, he says, "Oh, he fell off a cliff and disappeared." And I was like, "That's a strange way to frame that. Is he still alive? Question mark." And then Jin's like, "Come with me." So Jin takes her back to Rouge's room at the brothel, and Rouge is like weirdly jealous about it, and she says something like, "Oh, you found your most beautiful woman," and I'm like, "Oh, so there is a line, there is a limit to this friendship," and that's why I've kind of been building it up through this whole episode, because like they are friends to a point, and it's like she doesn't like when Jin has all the girls in the brothel hanging off him, but she also doesn't like the idea that there could be some woman that kind of usurps her role in their relationship, which isn't the case at all. Like this is his best friend's wife or fiance, but they think that he's dead, so who knows what's going to happen. But what they basically do here is Jin reserves her, Rouge, so the fiance can hide there, essentially. So over to Lei Hu and Mr. Long. Lei Hu is told by Mr. Long that the weapons haven't been found and the inspector's in town. Who reveals he just smuggles, and Jin still has the weapons. Mr. Long gives a warning to get it done, or else you're going to sleep with the fishes. We get the scene with the Rouge and the fiance kind of talking. Jin returns. She won't eat. She won't react. She's just sad and sort of distraught. Jin's gonna go to meet Lei Hu, and this is like he goes up to basically prepare for this. He breaks his pipe. Lei Hu shows up. They discuss Fan's murder. Hu tells him to give back the weapons. He won't give the weapons back if he will give the guns back if Mr. Long gives up the man who killed Kid and Fan. And then he fucking takes his horse.
Yeah.
Like, also your horse, and just leaves him there stranded in this, like, in the middle of nowhere. And also all of these places seem like they're they keep going back to like the same, right next to the water beach area. Like, probably from a filmmaking standpoint it is the same place, but it's just, I guess all of this countryside looks like lowland hills, sort of, not desert quite, but like moors.
I would love to know what the filming schedule was for this movie. How many days it took to shoot?
9 days. In and out. Most of the movie was filmed in 3 days. And it was just kung fu scene after kung fu scene after kung fu scene. That's, I don't know. Over to the assassin, who is just beating up a woman for no reason. just to show that he's a bad guy, I guess. Also, just as an aside, what year was the breast implant invented? Just wanted to put that out there.
Why you ask that?
Because this woman looked like she had the very first breast implants ever put into a woman. They were.
You've been enhanced, Maureen.
Yeah. Maureen, you've enhanced yourself.
So yes.
I don't want to like it's not a focus in like a weird like pervy way. It's just that it was weird to see breast implants in 1974. And I'm almost certain she had breast implants because of the
dip.
Yeah.
The first breast implant was installed in 1962. And then saline implants soon followed after in 1965.
You guys remember the movie?
That was String, so that was Breastmen.
Breastmen? Yeah, it was on HBO late.
Also, I did not notice any breast implants in this movie. How did you clock that?
It was the way that the side was straight. It didn't.
I didn't know you were such a
in the 1970s, breast augmentation gained momentum with mass production and new types of implants, including inflatable ones. What? Inflatable?
That's real.
Yes.
It's covered in breast, but there's like a valve. There's a valve that you
inject extra saline.
That's crazy.
It's sad that I know this.
And then in the 1980s, silicone implants faced controversy from the FDA. That's an 80s song that I just made.
They started injecting lead.
Lead. Yeah, Doc, I'm thinking about either inflatables or lead. I know they're kind of on the opposite ends of the spectrum here, but what do you
like? I want it like a rock.
Like a rock.
Rock.
I wouldn't normally bring it up. It was just like they did not look like a natural breast. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
On the rape of the scene that really frightened me, but I wasn't like looking.
Sorry, it was too distracted by the breast implant to think about anything else.
It was a weird way to also put nudity in the movie in a movie that did not need any nudity or. There are plenty of opportunities.
We talked about this earlier, where it's just to make the villain bad. He's already bad, but we want to know that he's bad enough that he needs to get his head kicked off by the main hero.
True. Anyway,
they didn't also want to bad to the bone playing.
He's bad to the bone. Yeah, I mean, and the thing is he's not even raping one of our main female characters, which is good. Not that I want to see rape, but we didn't see it happen to any of the characters that we already like, so we weren't devastated by that. But at the same time, it's still it's violent, it's horrifying, it's gross, and I don't think that we already knew that guy was bad.
Yeah, it's wild that Mr. Long walks into the room, sees this, and says, "That's a little extreme."
It is wild that he said that, but also you have to probably assume that he doesn't give a shit about anybody but himself.
He probably was like, "Oh, I could have sold her, or I can't return the deposit, or something, some monetary, issue."
But he also has absolutely no reflection on it after that moment. He makes a comment being like, "That's something a villain would do," and then he walks over and he's like, "But we're not villains here. None of us are. So
we're the good guys, right?"
Yeah.
But Hu returns with the news that that in exchange for the guns in 2 days, he has to give up Mr. Long's brother, who was the assassin. That's when they it's revealed that they're brothers. But I think it's like you guys said, they're just comrades.
It's
Mr. Long, ever cunning,
podcast each week, and I say, "What's going on, brother?" to you.
Yeah, true. Mr. Long, ever cunning, says once they have the guns, Jin won't be an issue, but 2 days is too long to wait for brother Yun Fei to wait. So they're going to target Rouge next. The women are lined up at the brothel.
Maybe they are brothers. I don't know. It would really explain a lot of why he's letting him rape people and stuff and not be like, "Don't do that."
Yeah. Yeah, like their age discrepancy seemed like maybe,
but also so many other people referred to each other as brother throughout this movie that I just assumed it was like a thing.
I think it's I said. They won't betray each other. Like, there's no question in terms of their loyalty. So, him
honor among thieves. Yeah,
a little rapey. He's like, oh man, really?
You shouldn't do that. It's a little extreme, but let's move on to the next chapter of our adventure of being criminals together.
Let's get the guns back by murdering and pillaging. But so the women are all lined up at the brothel. Who goes there to try to find Rouge, but she's not there because she is, of course, being she's on retainer, I guess. Yeah. But she does appear from the back room. She knows Lei Hu from some point, because like this town seems small a little longer this movie goes on. She tells him that Mr. Long is waiting, or he tells her that Mr. Long is waiting for her service, but Jin already has her engaged. He gets physical with her and pushes around a bit, but she says to him to come back that night. The fiance wants to get dressed up and go with Rouge to this like meeting. And obviously this is a stupid idea, but the fiance cannot be controlled. She will not be controlled, which is, women having agency and power in this movie is we haven't really seen it yet, but it's interesting that the fiance does have this agency. She really wants to.
I don't know. Mole woman she's pretty cool. I think
she's pretty cool. Yeah.
She knows how to make you come in your pants, and she can also kick the shit out of you. So.
And steal money from you with you looking directly at her. Yeah. But she wants to take the fiance wants to take Mr. Long out herself. So the girls end up going to this house with Mr. Long and Liu He and the assassin. They're all partying. Everybody's fucking wasted. Yun Fei, especially drunk. He's drinking, I guess, whiskey, and he has his sights on Fan's fiance. Mr. Long and Rouge try to stop him from, knocking her around. And then Yun is like, I recognize you from somewhere, because he had like stalked her earlier in the movie.
It's because he did this. Remember?
Yeah.
That's where he remembered her from that moment. Yeah.
So to create a distraction, Rouge implies to Mr. Long that the fiance is a virgin. That's at least what I inferred by her whispering, like, and then she brandishes a knife and tries to kill Mr. Long. She lunges, misses, and then gets taken out by Yun Fei. Rouge also fights back during all of this, and Lei Hu knocks her down as well. And then there's that weird moment where she's like, in slow-mo, which was like, or was it the fiance? There's that weird, like, I don't know.
It was Rouge,
right? It was a weird, like, visual cinematic representation of what she was going through. But it was weird, like, it's auteur filmmaking if I've ever seen it.
Well, she's also one of the heroes, too. She's technically one of the heroes. So it's one of the heroes being struck down as well.
Yeah, right. It's also old filmmaking, so like this type of thing was not necessarily perfected yet, where it's like, somebody falls down in slow motion, it's impactful because you're watching every little nick and bump and bruise that they're getting, and that's impactful enough for 1974. But now they do it a little bit different now, because they've understood, like, oh, we can't just throw slow motion in everywhere. We've got to understand it. Unless, like we already talked about Zack Snyder. Yeah. I was gonna make the same joke, but like the thing is like we understand it as people looking back in time at a movie, but like that would be impactful back then, because you wouldn't see that type of film. Because I'll tell you right now, like, to film something in slow motion, it costs double the amount than it would cost to film it in regular, because you're using more film, right?
Yeah.
You're running it through faster, and you're picking up more frames per second so that you can slow it down. It looks impressive, though. I will say that. Like, it's freaky. Like, but the thing that they're trying to capture, Jason, as you're saying, like, I don't know what they're trying to do here. It's not as it's not like the pearl snapping in Batman versus Superman or whatever, right? Like it's not the same.
Say that name again.
But it's supposed to be that, right? You're supposed to be
Martha?
feeling that same kind of vibe.
Why did you say that name?
I'm Superman. I'm Superman and I'm Batman and we have the same mom name.
Your
mom's
name is Marta?
So after all that happens, one of my favorite parts of this whole movie happens. Jin gives a speech to his cronies for the final mission, unlike any speech. Well, actually, like every speech I've ever seen in the same context. But I really enjoyed it here because I was like, as soon as it showed him standing up with like one leg up, and it is his guys, and he's basically like, he's Captain Morganing it, and he's basically like, look, I don't expect any of you to come with me. And before he's even done talking, they're like, obviously we're coming with you. This is the greatest thing that's ever happened. We have to go save the day. That was an amazing sequence. I thought that was great. They all have his back and they all roll up to this house. I also liked this house because it reminded me of in Red Dead Redemption 2, that like plantation house.
I do.
I
do know your
That's what this house reminded me of.
What it reminds me of, like the house that they keep going up to, because I think it's the way they're framing the house. They keep being like, "That's the psycho house. Norman Bates lives in there," and he's like, "Diddling, diddling, ding, 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 diddling, diddling, ding, ding, ding." He's got his dead mommy in the attic, and I kept thinking about that, and I was thinking about the dub that we could make, where we could just make Mr. Long into like a weird Norman Bates man.
Yeah.
They do roll up to this house. I just love how it's just all of them in a group, and they just start throwing hands.
They just start throwing it. They just start fight. The first henchman comes down the stairs. And he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" He gets punched in the face, and then they just start going. And it basically, the end of this movie is like it becomes a video game at this point. Where Jin is like the main character, like you're controlling this guy fighting.
You're avenging Inspector Detector Fan or whatever his name is.
Yeah, exactly. So we also just cut to the inspector with Fan Ming, and he's alive. He's pretty fucked up. He was definitely stabbed, and they didn't have the, I guess, technology to keep him in a hospital because he's like bleeding out on the chair.
He definitely refused to. He's like, I gotta get back to work. Has anyone seen my fan? And they're like, no, we don't know.
No, it's covered in blood. Fiance might have it. But yeah, he was working with the inspector. It's like he also puts on like an inspector hat himself, so
and a jacket, and he's got like his arm all fucking gauzed up, and he's wearing it like a cape. And he's
like Gunther, just has it over.
He's like running with them, and he's like, go! And but he's like always behind them slightly, like, oh fuck. And you're like, okay, is he gonna like rip all the bandages off and kick the shit out of somebody?
Well, that's what I thought was gonna happen. Yeah. But they also do this thing where like somebody comes in and tells them there's a siege on Mr. Long's house, and it's a couple miles away, so they all go. And even though Fan Ming isn't fully healed, he does have fighting spirit, but also they'll
not fighting body. His spirit and his body are.
They cut to the house and there's all this fighting going on, and then they cut back to the soldiers running, and Fan is like, "Oh fuck!"
It's very comedic, like where like and because like all the soldiers run, and then it's him like like behind them, like it's very funny.
It's very funny,
and I'm like, this is meant to be funny, right? Like this isn't supposed to be like.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, it must be like the movies. It has a lot of comedic. Like the guy, a man comes in his own pants in this movie. People, like that's supposed to be funny. Like it's not.
The Farley brothers present Young Dragons.
The Farley brothers restoration of the Young.
Yeah,
Dragon.
the mole woman comes out and she's got like a big chunk of cum on the side of her hair. She's like, "What do you want?"
Oh, hair gel.
It's
yeah, that's really good. Where are my something about Mary fans at? Nobody commented.
Oh god.
Fan Ming lives. So there's more action at the house. Jin fights Lei Hu, the mustache man. Jin just fucking goes over and kills Mr. Long. Like he's just exited from the equation immediately. He continues to fight Lin Hu. Extremely good fight choreo for this fight. Their fight. I wish that they had telegraphed how good their fight was going to be through the whole movie, because I almost got the impression while I was watching Jin and Lei Hu interact with each other that they were both like thieves, and they had an honor among thieves between them, because even though Jin is always like beating up henchmen, he never goes directly after Lei Hu, which Lei Hu is clearly like the underboss of the whole ordeal. Like when when we really stack all of the like fights up in a video game style way, which is what kind of happens throughout the end of this movie. That's what I'm saying.
It is like a Street Fighter ending, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
and then you have the casting coming and be like, "Where's my fan? If I had my fan, I could fuck him up." It's like, yeah, just relax about your fan.
My next note is on their way. Fan is fucked up. So more Hu versus Jin. Jin finds fiance during all of this as well. She's knocked out. He just stands there and looks at her for a while, and then continues to fight Lei Hu. Yeah, she's knocked out.
Okay, I thought she wasn't knocked out.
She's laying there in the bed, like asleep or something.
Don't worry, Jason. She's just asleep. You know?
Oh, is she dead?
I thought she was dead.
Yeah, we sent her to a farm over. Yeah, your aunt and uncle are gonna take care of her.
You just changed the context of this whole ending to me, because everybody fucking dies. Wow,
that's what I thought.
Well, he defeats Hu, and there's one final boss. But this is the most video gamey thing of it all. The assassin is standing in the courtyard, like, "Come fight me!" But like four guys on the balcony start fighting Jin. Like, you know, when you're playing an RPG and you got to like fight 100 battles before you get to the fucking final boss.
Yeah,
that happens to Jin here. He's just fighting guys. They've got sticks now. They've got poles,
sticks and
bows.
poles. Oh my god,
they've got bows.
Which makes sense. Like they attacked. Like they're not going to be like, "Hey, we did such a great job last time." You know, with extra weapons,
just fists. Yeah.
Let's spice it up a little bit. You know, I'm surprised they didn't use the ropes again. But of course, you don't want to use the same trick twice.
Yeah, but you got a rope. Once you have rope technology and you can four-guy rope a single guy, just always four guys rope a single guy. Like, what are you doing?
I mean, if they didn't show me that one car in this movie, I'd have been like, "What is this? Like the 1800s?"
Rope technology.
Yeah.
Have they figured out rope technology yet, or what?
Yeah. So after some back and forth, Jin overcomes the henchmen. The police are still heading their way. Now it's time for the final battle. There's extremely high octane for this fight. Things are looking grim for Jin, but he makes some final moves that secure him the win. There's that big jump move where the assassin jumps over and he kicks him in the stomach, which is kind of like a signature maneuver. Gives him a super punch. And then there's one final stretch where there's still
at least we got to see his signature maneuver.
Or kick upwards. Yeah. And this is where I was like, this is like a wrestling match through all of this. But the end of it is Jin gets on top of him with his feet, with the assassin's feet at his neck. And the implication is that like he cracks the assassin's neck. And then we find out that the other crack sound was his neck getting cracked by the assassin.
Yeah.
But we don't know that until the very, very end when Fan shows up. And there's that weird scene. It's really ominous. Also, got to point out, there's 2 minutes left in the movie.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
I was also like, oh my god, they're still fighting.
Yeah.
And then I moved my mouse and I was like, what? How much time for the credits?
I was ready. I was about to click off and look up like if there's more movie that I just didn't get in this version. But what happens is Fan comes down the hill, finds Jin still like in the position that he is dead, that he got killed in, and he kind of like falls over, and Finn realizes like what has happened here was the double neck crack, and then just the end pops up on the screen.
No, he gets the police squad, the inspectors, to lift him up and carry him away.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, and they're pulling the body. Yeah,
Yeah.
down off screen. It's a real chitty chitty bang bang style ending. You know.
Yes.
I liked it though, like, because there's not much more to be said after that. Like, what are you gonna like? What is Fan gonna show up and be like? So does anybody have my fan? Or and it's like, and then they all lived happily ever after in China.
Yeah, like
Well,
I like with people dying. That's how I.
Well, with the implication that the fiance is dead, and now I'm thinking maybe Rouge's slow motion thing was her dying too. Like, it's a real like Hamlet kind of everybody fucking died except for the one person we thought was dead. Kid definitely dead. Kid doesn't come back. He got punched in the stomach so hard that he fucking ruptured all of his spleens. But
every single one of them ruptured.
Every one of them. What a crazy
that's what the autopsy report came back as. Yeah, so all of his spleens
ruptured.
Laven.
But that's the end of the movie. There's no end credit. There's no like.
Well, because they did the credits earlier on.
It was old enough movie that they did all the credits at the beginning. Yeah. That's how movies used to be. Yeah. And I kind of wish that was like that still. Except if it was a Marvel movie, you'd have to show up 15 minutes late just to not see all the like VX.
Well, it's funny. That's exactly where my brain went. I was like, a Marvel movie having all the credits at the start would be like, play it during the fucking ads.
But imagine they did it like the way that Tim Burton does his still, because he still does them. But it would be like, if it was an Iron Man movie, it'd be like diddling, and it'd be like an arm. The whole armor would be like a million names, like it'd be like scanning up the armor. And instead of it just being armor, it'd be like full of names, like 100,000 names going up the Iron Man leg or whatever.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh. That's just like the way that the movie ended. That's kind of the end of this. So we should probably go into our Home Alone it all and final thoughts.
Okay. Which one first?
If you had to pick one, what do you think the Home Alone of it all?
When is the Home Alone of it all?
Can someone please tell me when the Home Alone of
I
it all?
really gotta know.
When is the Home Alone of it all?
What is the Home Alone of it all?
Now that's the Home Alone of it all.
Oh no! No! 3D! 3D!
So we're going to continue to use that because that's
I tried to pull a face. Did the face work?
Yeah. Yes. So the idea of the Home Alone of it all specifically is the idea that in the movie Home Sweet Home Alone, Max sets up the house to murder the nice couple that's just trying to get this doll. And that's the part of the movie we're all there to see. See what I did there? I used a different Home Alone movie.
I was
6 as the template.
I was like tuning you out because I usually do at this point. And then I was like, kill what? And then I was like, and then I started paying attention. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
The Home Alone of it all in Home Sweet Home Alone 6, written by Mikey Day and Streeter Seidel with an all-star cast of actors you recognize, is one of the best Home Alones since Home Alone 1 or 2. Anyway, every movie sort of has that end crawl, that end sequence that you're there to see. Now, in addition to that, it's your favorite part of the movie. Let's just be real what it is. In addition to that, we need your final thought and your rating. So, Jaemeel, you've been here before. I know I threw you a curveball with my Home Sweet Home Alone reference, which I watched this year. Pretty good movie. Just make more Home Alone movies. But Jaemeel, what's your Home Alone of it all? Your favorite part, your final thought, and your rating for this film?
Okay, thank you very much.
You're very well.
The Home Alone of it all, for me, is obviously that initial fight sequence that we have with the ropes. Very innovative. As someone who's watched countless hours of martial arts movies, and wire work can be grand. Not every single martial arts film is Once Upon a Time in China, or Once Upon a Time in China 2, or Once Upon a Time in China 3. So yeah. So seeing like a sequence that I have not necessarily seen before, especially at that early of a year, is just gives me the warm feelings and the cockles of my heart. And I love that sequence, right deep down there. So
In the cockles of your heart.
in
In
the
the
cockles,
cockles of your heart.
subcockle area,
Yeah.
area. So seeing that sequence, that to me just stuck with me in entire experience with this film. And knowing that Jackie Chan kind of set it up is really, good as well. Man
Yeah.
was he's really good at his job, let's just say, right? Overall in this film, it is very simple, but it harkens back to a time where individual moments are spread over a lengthy period of time, and it kind of is draining at certain hours of the day for our working capitalistic lifestyle, and therefore I didn't catch everything, all the different nuance that Jason thankfully provided. So I appreciate this experience, one, watching the film and getting that thing, but also reliving it again in detail. So that is my final thoughts. So take care of yourself and each other.
Wow.
Give a rating.
Oh,
I didn't give a rating yet. My rating is 2 Once Upon a Time in China's out of 4 Once Upon a Time in China's.
All right.
I was circling back.
I was going back. Yeah.
Steven.
Well, I mean, I have to say that, on viewing this movie for the first time this week, I wasn't super impressed with the movie overall, but in talking to you guys this week, I've realized that like those moments that I was like, I'm having trouble with this, was not because the movie was failing. It was because I was failing as a viewer and I wasn't actually like absorbing the things in the way that I should, and appreciating the fact that some of this stuff is like being done for the first time, like the camera work and the cinematography paired with the choreography of the fighting. But also like, the storytelling is goofy. It's fun. It's interesting. And like, it also is like dark and serious. I think it's a good movie. I think it is like for somebody who's taking their crack at filmmaking for the first time, this is what it is. It's his first movie. It is good. It's like up there with any auteur director that you could put up anything that Spielberg or Tarantino or, any of your faves up there. I think that it works just as well, right? Like, what's your favorite Tarantino movie? I don't know, this or that. But also remember Reservoir Dogs. It's a good movie. What's your favorite Spielberg movie? This or that. But remember the one where people are fighting on the highway or whatever it's called. The Duel? Is that what it's called? This is like that, where it's not necessarily like his best movie, but it showcases who he is as a filmmaker. And it definitely carries on throughout his entirety of his career. I think that John Woo is maybe like a genius. I think he might be a genius, or at least a visual genius. Like, I don't know if the storytelling is always necessarily up to snuff, but like, he knows how to tell a story through visuals, and that's what movies are. They're primarily a visual medium. I think this movie is much better than I thought it was 3 days ago when I watched it for the first time. And I will thank both of you for kind of opening me up to that fact. When it comes to a rating, I don't know. I'm going to give it like, I don't know, like half. Oh wait, no, I have to do the Home Alone of it all first. it's the fan. The fan opening up is the best part in the whole fucking movie. That's so fucking cool. It's so good. So I'm gonna give it a quarter opened fan, but then when talking to you guys, it's a full open fan. The fan opened all the way. That's my rating. That's my rating.
That's great.
I changed my rating just then.
My Home Alone of it all this week is just like the fight choreo, like that those were my favorite parts of the movie. The story, like you guys, like we really went over, was a pretty basic story, but I'm glad that I was able to do my best work focusing in on a movie and getting it right.
Hold on, Jason, before you stop.
Thank you.
This was a movie that I found very difficult to follow, and I'm glad that you did all the work you did, because I wouldn't have been able to follow it as well if you weren't here to cave. This dark
like
cave.
I said, I was legitimately afraid starting the movie, because I was like, not only do I have to read subtitles, but I have to like follow what's happening in a 51-year-old movie. But that's fine. Like it's whatever. The movie's good. I had a really good time watching it. The fight choreography was my Home Alone of it all this week. And just as a final thought, it takes an auteur director on the level of a John Woo to really make something so basic be elevated to the point that we get a great conversation out of it, and we also are entertained by it. Because a lesser filmmaker would be given a plot and a script like this and really just not know what to do with it because of its basicness. And I really just had a good time watching it because of all the little weird stuff that he puts in. It's like, when you watch a good sitcom versus a bad sitcom. Good sitcom written by somebody like, I know you're not really a sitcoms guy specifically, Steven.
Everybody loves Raymond versus Seinfeld. I guess.
Well, that's a good example.
I like both of those. I like both of those. I like.
Okay, bad example for Everybody Loves Raymond because it's one of those like favorites. But what I mean is, look at somebody like Dan Harmon who writes something like a Community, and in the background there's so much stuff happening, and there's so many callback jokes, and there's all this stuff that's there to keep you engaged. And I think overall John Woo is able to do that with such a basic I think actually I changed my Home Alone of it all. Imagine it is like the Kung Fu Boys, and it was just like on NBC at 9 p.m. every week for 22 years. The whole sequence with Rouge making a guy cum his pants is so fucking funny and good. And there's level of like comedy throughout the whole thing in a movie that doesn't need any comedy. So that's my Home Alone of it all, and kind of my final thought. Just like fucking, I want to watch all the John Woo movies. I haven't seen a bad one yet, and I don't think I'm gonna see one.
I think this is when Jason becomes the ultimate John Woo fan. He's like, he's like, he always, every time we do like a Chucky movie or a Jason movie, he's like, I'm gonna go through all the Chuckies and all the Jasons, and he never does it. But this time he might actually.
No, but I did. Those two franchises specifically.
Yeah, it only took you fucking 8 years, you dildo.
I'm a dildo. I watched all the Hellraisers in like 2 weeks. Anyway,
those are good.
If I was to, there's way more bad than
he's
there's
gonna have like a flock of white doves with him everywhere he goes.
I just have a bird cage with me now at all times, and a phone book that has squibs inside of it. But if I was to give this movie a rating, I would give it the 4 ropes it took to take down Fan.
Ooh.
Oh, all 4?
Yeah. Also, I give it a 4 out of 5. Boom.
Oh my god, 4 and 4. He's never done it, folks. 4 and 4.
4 and 4. Hey, look who it is. Timmy boy. You're right. Yeah, watch this episode back. It was marred with technical difficulties, but also it was a great conversation.
Enjoyed that 1 hour intro.
Yeah.
Love it.
And the 20 minutes where me and Jaemeel are just like, so what did you think about the fan? Well, the fan was actually the best part of the movie.
It was the fan cut. I'm gonna just take the part where I was away and make it its own video. Well,
You
with
can
that,
beep out the stuff that referenced Hop. Hop is not sponsoring this podcast, so they don't get free advertising. So
I don't even.
no need for that.
You're the only person that's ever used Hop, I think.
Listen, we could get sponsored by Hop because no one knows about it, Jason. So just
Okay, fair enough. I went to a party. Someone was like, "Hey, don't do this. Use this," and I used it, and it was cheaper.
As somebody that has,
they also like
boycotted
hip hop, a hip hop, and it don't stop.
Bang, bang, boogie,
As somebody that boycotted Lyft, I need an alternative. So, anyway, what's Tim saying? Hi. Yep,
I
he
live
does.
with technical difficulties. I feel like that would be his villain name in Spider-Man. Technical difficulties.
He's got one claw.
It doesn't work.
Right?
Right?
It breaks all the time.
Fuck.
It cuts his neck all the time. He's got this like scar.
No, it's like one of those claws from like one of those games where it like goes down to grab a stuffed animal.
Just molest the teddy bear instead of actually pulling on it. Oh my goodness. Let's go into our plugs. I think it's the last thing we have to do here.
All right, let me just plug this in right here and.
Oh, I like the other.
It wasn't as good as this.
No, not at all.
This was my first go. I had a
What is
different.
that? That's just like a bunch of plugs.
Well, what we're gonna do right now is a bunch of plugs. So, Jaemeel, why don't you tell us what you have?
Well, folks, if you didn't know, I'm part of the United Federation of Podcasts. All right, I know, which this happens to be on as well. I get referenced as being the creator of Live Long and Podcasts, even though I'm barely on it. Right? Funny enough. And interestingly enough, Super Mater Brothers podcast I'm also on because the other Super Mater brother, the other Mater brother, doesn't show up. I also have my own podcast called True Currency, and we have one episode that we have available on Spotify, and we're coming close to the 1 year anniversary of that one episode. We might do another one, but we'll see. So catch me where you see me. I'm not really on social media anymore. I'm busy. I'm tired. I work with children.
Oh,
Well, thank you, Jaemeel. You're always welcome back to the couch. We love you here. Your episodes are few and far between, but they're all great.
Aww.
We've had some really fun times.
I think fondly back onto the Invisible Man episode a lot.
Invisible Man.
My daughter references it. She says it scarred her for life.
I mean, that's why we're here, folks. To scar people for life.
For our family for life.
Yes. He's like, do men really don't shower properly? I'm like,
Do not know how to wash their buttholes?
Well, there's some men that think that it's gay to wash your butthole.
I think it's gay.
Anyway.
Butthole.
Steven, what do you got cooking on your back burner, buddy?
My burner is, it's not, one of these days I'm going to be like, nothing on the back burner, but I always got something on the back burner, baby. I am the voice of Darth Theorist and the Three-Eyed Theorist. I say things like, let's explore the depths of it in the video. Every time, every week. The videos keep growing, and I appreciate everybody who watches. I want us to reach 100,000 subscribers soon, please. For the love of God, I want that YouTube play button to get mailed to me in the mail. It'll be so cool to have it. And then I'm also, Stanland, I always promote because it's a fun, cool thing with a lot of fun, cool people. But we have a new thing called Randy coming out soon. It's going to be released this month. the end of the month. I'm working on a trailer for it right now, which is pretty fun and cool. It's interesting. It's funny. It's weird. It's from 10 years ago. So I've been going through and removing like a lot of like weird jokes that are like, that didn't age well. I think that didn't age well either. Think. They're not,
Sorry.
they're not more-
That Donald Trump will never be president.
yeah, it's kind of stuff like that, but like it's mostly just stuff where you're like, yeah, why do you gotta make that joke? Maybe take that out. Anyway, it's gonna be fun, and it's coming out in I think 12 days maybe is when it's supposed to go out. But anyway, I'm working on the trailer. We're gonna get the trailer going, and there's a bunch of other stuff that we're going to be working on this year, which is really cool. I don't think I can talk about it too much yet, but we're working with the writer of Stan Land, and he's very funny and interesting, and he's got like a lot of cool, wild ideas with interesting people that you've probably heard of. And I'll tell you more when I can. But yeah, for now, check me out on Darth Theorist and the Three-Eyed Theorist. I'm the voice. Let's explore the depths of it in the video.
Hell yeah, brother. Well, you're always welcome back to the couch, of course.
You me?
You're always welcome back to the couch. Thank you. I accept. I have a few things that I need to talk about this week. First and foremost, Super Kicked. I'm back, baby. I've got all my my Super Kick dates worked out for the year. January, I believe 23rd is that a Friday? Yeah, January 23rd is the next event. I believe it's called Envy. So we'll see what that entails as far as the main event. But next week or the week after, I'll have a card or some media for you. I'm the announcer at Super Kicked. I had to take some time off. Super Kicked did some stuff. They had their 10th anniversary in November and no December event. So I haven't been in a ring in 2 months. So we'll see if I can still say the names louder than everybody else can say them. I'm going to be able to do it. It's my calling in life.
He's the loudest guy I ever met. My whole
life, I never met somebody louder than this fucking guy.
It's true. Here in Toronto at the Great Hall, January 23rd, Super Kicked. Also, I'd like to tell you guys about some pictures that we have you can get on shirts. If you're watching this in the future, you may notice at the bottom, our TeePublic is now directly connected. We reached a milestone that allows us to have that available. So click on the socks and the mugs and the shirts and get all of the following pictures in images, illustrations, illustrated by our very own Bubba Blackfly, Stephen Waters himself.
That's me.
We have Corporal Tunnel Syndrome from our James Bond month. I didn't even realize we did 2 Book of Bond last year. I thought that
We were supposed to get more villains. Nobody gave us more ideas for villains.
Well, this year we'll have to do more of it. We have the Howie Mandel effect, which you can get on a shirt. You can get the now antiquated Grimoire of Familiar Killers. Most of these guys are dead on our show. We have 2 more Jason movies, couple more Halloweens, but Freddy and Chucky.
You never know, though. You never know.
It's true. They could come back. And also, we do owe the viewers a month of remakes because there are 4 distinct remakes for all of these 4 weirdos. We also have the Eldritch Millennial, which you can get on a shirt. Steve did a self-insert. He also, if you buy this shirt, you get his signature. So
that squiggle there, that's my
it looks like a dollar sign.
Yeah.
You also have,
because he's money.
Yeah, he is money. Money gets money. We got Kill-Aid and we got Twinkerbell. Now, there's one thing I want to tell you guys all about because it's very special to me and it's working for once. I tried this last year or 2 years ago and it didn't really work because we didn't really have the following, but we have a new thing called the Hey, Did You See This One 24-hour live stream right now. And what it is they're right simultaneous to this, and also what you might be watching this on. Like, this is live. We're live right now. I could do whatever I want. I could show you this cherry Coke. I could show you this.
All right, tell us what it is, you fucker.
It's a live stream of all of our videos, and you can watch them around the clock. And it's always available here at Hey Did You See This One? Hey Did You See This One is a podcast that you can watch each and every week at 8 p.m. Eastern on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. On YouTube is where you can find our 24-hour stream. It's going to be available. I'm going to be making everybody watch it. And also, we hit a milestone today on the channel on YouTube. 666 subscribers.
What?
That's the devil's number.
We're the devil.
That's my devil.
We're on the level of the devil.
You want to be on the couch, don't you? You want to be in the halls of history with your panties above your head.
Whoa,
with your...
whoa. Above your head.
I don't know.
Well, that's our show for this week. There is just one question that needs. Oh, wait, hold on a second.
Hey, Jason. Hey, Steve. It's a beautiful day out today. Just on a walk, and I was thinking, I think tonight's the podcast. I know you guys took a week off, so I'm sure you're glad to be back in the saddle. Anyway, it's 2:13 tonight, I think, if my math is right. Oh, man, I bet it's a good one. You guys are just killing it lately. Anyway, Happy New Year. Happy January. I'm sure I'll see you guys soon. I can't wait. Love ya.
Love ya. Happy
Um,
January. That's much better than Jan Woo. Let's get him back on the show someday.
Okay.
Maybe next week.
What?
But like I said, there is one question that needs to be asked each and every week. Jaemeel, could you go ahead and ask that for us right now, please?
Hey! Did you see this one?
So how did that go for you guys? Did you feel like it was fun?
Jan Woo, Jenny Woo, Jan Woo, Woo, Jan Woo, Johnny Woo, John Woo, John Woo, John Woo, Johnny Woo, John Woo, John Woo, John Woo, Johnny Woo.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, Did You See This One? And take a peek into the darkness with Heard Noise, Must Investigate with Michael Chan. Watch us duke it out on trivial debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mario Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.
Oh, no. No!